acolo este, va fi corner, dragi ascultători.
Hello, Val Verde. Welcome back to another commentary. Yes, a commentary. I always run out of steam very early on in these
Good start.
introductions.
First 12 seconds.
My name is Duncan Casey, actor, not presenter, as you have gathered, no doubt, in the last 5 seconds. And with me is, as always, tracksuit enthusiast Richard Jackson.
I do love a tracksuit.
Yeah.
Break your leg.
I'm quite jealous.
Get into tracksuits. Oh my days. I don't care how I look. I'm past that point in my life where I've stopped caring how people perceive me. I'm bald, I'm fat, I'm in my tracky bottoms. I'm happy.
Two of those things is true.
But which one? You can't tell because this is an audio format.
Right, get comfortable. So, yes, that's right. We're going to continue our haphazard foray into the saga that is Terminator, because you will click on it, even those that decry the...
Yeah, just a quick moment of Partridge-esque bitterness. People like to say, oh no, you're doing Terminator again, why are you doing Terminator again? We just did a video on Tetsuo Iron Man, the kind of Japanese art film, and it was our worst performing video ever. And none of those people came into the comments to say, good job on doing that. So here's more Terminator stuff, because people click on it, and that's how channels work.
Yeah.
Oh, Lynn, I'm not happy. Just want to get that out of the way. Just be bitter prick. But the rest of the commentary is going to be fun.
It's going to be great. So if you're going to watch along with us, and it is on Netflix, at least in the UK anyway, or you may have a copy of this, if you're mad, please get your copy of Terminator Genisys to the beginning of the film. Press play. And now... There we go.
Continue.
Continue.
That's Tekken 2.
Would you like Terminator?
The robots. The robots.
Decried for some weird a moment of synergy between us. We watched this the other week, didn't we? Quite out of
separately,
just random. I guess the channel update will go up before this. So as you will now know, Winston's been really, really deathly unwell, and so I had to sleep downstairs with him on the floor. And for some reason, it was just like, it's like when you can't sleep and you've got the big TV in your face. So I was like, so I put this on and watched it over 2 nights. I'm
weirdly compelled by it, even though I hate it deeply.
It's that weird thing, isn't it? It's like the Superman 4 of whatever. It's like that's the one you watch.
Because I find Terminator, because I hate this film, obviously, but like Terminator 3 and Terminator Salvation, I also really intensely dislike. Salvation less, as we discussed long for.
Yeah.
But I've got a weird compulsion to watch this, because this feels like some kind of fever dream. I sort of can't quite accept that it's real. Yeah.
There's that, and there's the fact that it's like trying to get a handle on just how bad it is. I think it's partly like just being able to articulate why you don't like it is really difficult, because I think it's almost got that sort of Die Another Day factor where it's kind of up. There's literally a point at which it just goes to shit, and it's like, and it opens okay. I mean, I don't like it. But I think that's partly because I know where it goes. Whereas I think it starts off fairly earnestly.
Well, watching this in the cinema was just this complete horror just unfolded in front of you. It's just like, oh my god! It's like, I don't know. The thing people would talk about is kind of a car wreck or something. But I'm thinking more of the times when used to get videos posted to the internet of some oil pipeline worker having their head cut off in Afghanistan or something like that. It's just like watching this thing unfold.
This is, I mean, it does open so it opens with a fairly neutered version of the whereas in Terminator 2 and everything, you've got like literally skin being
insanely visceral.
Yeah. Whereas this is like, that's a sort of 2012 Armageddon shot. There's no people there, crucially.
Yeah, this very Roland Emmerich-y, isn't it?
It doesn't show the personal, the people. You don't see anyone being affected by it. It's just pure destruction, and then it's like
it's boilerplate, isn't it? Because you have to show that, but this is the 12A,
the PG-13,
kind of PG-13,
exactly. Yeah.
So you have to kind of do it in a clean way. Because to be fair, like Terminator 3, the ending is praised. It's something that I agree with, but that's all shown from space. But then again, I think I will defend that in the tone of that scene to suddenly cut to the kind of the nightmare sequence from Terminator 2.
It feels more about in line with when he says, Judgment Day is inevitable. It's that inevitability. It feels like it. I agree. I think that gets a pass. Evoking T2. See, that just looks like the Day After Tomorrow. Or something.
The shot previously, the close-up of the blue kind of stuff, that looked like Terminator 2. That had that kind of.
It did, but then it sort of feels blasphemous. These look dreadful.
Yeah,
Although
this
again,
whole-
if you're going to do Terminators on that scale, I mean, again, it's that thing of like, look, we just want to have them walking around like they would be, and it's like, yeah, but you shouldn't show them like that.
Well, I think the thing is with this as well, this is a kind of strange halfway house because they have, to be fair to them, looked back, because something Terminator Salvation does, it doesn't look anything like the previous Terminator films, not the Terminator 3. Whereas this, they've kind of gone like, well, we need those kind of that blue palette.
Yeah.
And we need the kind of pink lasers, and they've done that. But then it's still like 40% off the mark because they're all wearing cool body armor. You know, it's all too.
They definitely. I think they. You know, when we did a commentary to this a few years ago elsewhere, and actually someone who had worked on the special effects chimed out in the comments section. And one thing, you know, one thing that is abundantly clear from it is that the makers of it clearly have a love and a reverence for
someone in that chain, probably not at the top, but the people who are on the ground, so to speak.
Yeah, and if you had to make a PG-13 version of the Terminator, then this is okay. But the trouble is, it's like it's that point at which, you know, it's almost okay until, you know, helicopter chases start happening and smashing into each other, and you know, it just goes Transformers, and it's like, no.
This is the thing, it's got this cheap kind of popcorn thing, and it just misses the mark so much. It's got all the kind of wank jokes in it and stuff. I see this is kind of, look, it's a kind of a generic T800, which we don't really see enough of that ever.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
I mean, because of Franco Columbo in the first one, maybe, and
Yeah.
you know, the late Franco Columbo.
If Franco Columbo. The thing in this, Terminators seem a lot easier to kill in this.
Well, that's the kind of thing about the diminishing. This is the problem. It's,
When they're good, they're very they're like tanks, and when they're bad, they're.
Well, there's something about revisiting franchises and diminishing the power of its characters.
Yeah.
It's such a recurrent thing because, like, the fucking whole scene where the old T800 kills the Terminator 1 T800. That is the entire menace. I see what you're doing as a kind of in a film way, in a continuity way, but the entire menace and threat of that Terminator is completely undermined.
Yeah.
And also the fact that the Terminator walks up to it instead of just shooting it with a sniper rifle.
I agree 100%. All these extras that they've just freed from the camp look like well-fed, like Los Angeles.
Look how
they're all shaved. They're all like.
How is Jai Courtney Kyle Reese? Like, he's this ripped bodybuilder, and it's like they're supposed to be like eating rats.
Yeah, they should be emaciated. I mean, I know it's very hard to say to an actor to do that. I think part of the problem is as well, and again, I don't want to talk about casting unknowns being preferable, but it's like, apparently, was it you said they actually had someone who looked like Michael Biehn
I can't remember I can't remember which actor, but there is a kind of fairly well-known American actor who just fucking looks a lot like Michael Biehn.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay. Because
my feeling on it is like, look, get someone who's not got. I mean, it's not Jai Courtney's fault. He's got an image to uphold. He's got to shoot this. He's probably got a ton of other films to do either side of it. He can't afford to spend months losing weight. Plus, he's got an image that he has to. You know what I mean? He's got to be a buff-looking dude. That's fair enough. But then don't cast him. You know what I mean? They've cast him because he's a name, not because he's appropriate for the role, and that really is very clear here. It's not his fault. And like you said, I think he's great in Suicide Squad, and I think he's fine in this.
Yeah, he's absolutely fine. I mean, it's not his fault. It's the way the character's written.
Yeah,
because the performance is fine. Like Suicide Squad, he's legitimately great in. Like, when they let him off the chain, he's really funny. Like, he's got great comic chops, which is something because I used to always make hay of just laying into Jai Courtney, probably because of this, because of Die Hard. But actually, you see him in some stuff more so than fucking Bruce Avatar.
Worthington.
No, it's Bruce. I can't remember
Bruce
his
Avatar.
name. Bruce Avatar.
Sam Worthington is he's good in.
And these guys are both Australian as well, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. He's good in that Mindhunter thing. I keep not
the Unabomber one.
The Unabomber thing. Yeah, he's great in that.
I've struggled with him a bit in that I've not seen a lot that I've found him particularly. He's not bad, but like, you know, I've never seen him in anything that's particularly impressed me yet. But I haven't watched that, so
yeah,
you know.
I have to say that he was very good in that. I think he needed to get his feet on the ground, to be honest, and have a bit of something at stake. I think the problem is when you're catapulted into the big time, which he may or may not have been. I suppose it's always very easy to say that, whereas you know, that's how we saw it, but. God, see that is emblematic of what's wrong with this.
Yeah, it's this weird
sort of plastic Barbie doll version of the original.
Everything's kind of like a strange toy-like facsimile. Because to have the blue, all the pink lasers and all this, I mean, because that's just why is it?
He's got his wrists as well. It's like
10 and 2, 10 and 2.
And it doesn't work anyway, because then they look at it and go non-functioning, like all the other Terminators. No, it's not working.
Well, and also one thing we've seen repeatedly is that they have autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
Also, executive music producer. What does that even mean?
I know.
Hans Zimmer's managed to get loads of plum jobs doing stuff like that.
Right. And that's the other thing as well. Is it's like why would they have trucks? They wouldn't need trucks.
Well, they would have self-driving ones, surely. Rather than ones that, oh, look, here comes Terminator Ken. He's got his provisional license. Is there a fully qualified Terminator with a full clean driving license that can sit in the car with me?
No, you've got 2 points, Ken. We know what happened. You got done doing 35 and a 30 zone.
He was texting.
Sorry, sometimes the picture will freeze because our internet cocks up, but it should still be in sync.
Well, the soundtrack's running at full.
Yeah, it will still be in sync. It's just irritating.
This is another thing. Terminator 101 released. Terminator 101
God.
walking to the time machine.
Yeah.
Terminator 101 crouching.
It's like you'd have a runner on a radio telling it's like traveling to set, like traveling. It's like
this as well. You do all the skeletons and stuff, and then you have to drop a Transformers spider out of a plane.
Oh, I know.
It's sort of like the stuff we said about Terminator Salvation, right? Why is there chairs and stuff in Skynet? Like, it's a self-contained AI. Why would it be having kind of those audio announcements for the sake of your audience? Yeah. I also kind of feel as well, the people it feels to me that this film is pitched to, and I've said this before, and there's nothing wrong with this. We were all there once. I think this is like young couples and teenagers and 20-somethings going out to see a movie on Friday night. What should we see? Let's see Terminator Genisys. It's not aimed at people who are particularly familiar with the franchise.
Well, what's weird about it is it seems aimed at the casual Terminator 2 crowd. Right. But it's recreating the first one. You know what I mean? It's like all the reverence stuff is for the first one. So it's
the strange thing as well of just like really slavishly recreating things up to a point.
Yeah.
Because like the
punks look nothing like.
They're nothing like them. And like the guy who's Bill Paxton's character.
Yeah.
The hair is like completely different. Like,
does he have the tracks on his face? I can't remember.
I don't think he does actually. Like, and it's a completely different performance. They look so clean as well. Like,
well, this is the other thing. The recreation of the T800 going back, like all that stuff that's been slavishly recreated. It's analogous of the film because it's like they darken it a lot, so you can't see Schwarzenegger's schwanz.
You can't see his bum either.
Can't see his bum, yeah. So it's all very neutered, literally neutered.
Yeah.
Like it literally has had its bollocks cut off. Like, it's very, you know what I mean? And it's just, and then obviously there's loads of stuff wrong with that as well. And it's just sort of, it was almost like it was just done for trailer bait. So they were like, oh my god, we're going to get to see that. And it's like, yeah, but you could just watch the first film and see it properly, like, you know.
If I could just rewind for a moment, not literally. Yeah, so this is produced by Skydance with Paramount.
Right.
Skydance is Megan Ellison's company, and they bid for the rights because the Terminator rights have been in this fucking wonky limbo for years. And David Ellison is her brother, who just got the credit on the screen. So they got these rights, I think, at auction. I can't remember. And Skydance had previously produced the J.J. Abrams Star Trek.
Yeah.
The J.J. Abrams Star Trek was famous for doing the kind of time jump thing to reboot. So when they were announcing this, they were like, well, this is our intention. We're going to do it like we did with Star Trek. The Skydance name's attached. Mm-hmm. And I thought the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie, as I've discussed before, does that quite cleverly and in quite a satisfying way because it leaves the original. It doesn't wipe Star Trek out. It reboots, has its cake and eats it, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't piss on anyone's chips, like, crucially.
Exactly. Whereas this, so the hype was kind of like, oh, so they've figured out some clever way to do that.
Yeah.
And I think the talk was it was going to be like they were going to revisit Terminator 1 and 2 in a kind of Back to the Future 2 type way.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, well, okay, shit, they might have come up with something really smart here. They might have really cracked that. And then this came out.
And it's just nostalgia wanking, isn't it? It's and I'm sure there's a reason why they had to redo this because apart from the covering the bum thing,
I think I need this to be confirmed, but I understand they weren't allowed to use the original footage; they had to recreate it. But I mean, the way this film is, the first Terminator is really kind of grainy, scrappy, colour film.
Yeah. So
and it just wouldn't match.
Yeah, which is fair.
But
I mean, it's. I like this stuff. I like the sort of discovery of the time.
I don't mind the design of it either. Because this, looks like it was designed by a machine. It seems purely functional.
Yeah.
Whereas, then you've got walking to the time machine. And
that's clearly a post-production decision as well. That's really irritating. Because it's like, why are the audience that stupid that they don't know what... And it's like I like as well they've because I suppose it's sort of either it's a body double obviously and like whatever, but it's like they've coordinated the way that the T-800s walk around and that he walked into the, you know what I mean? It's like they've gone to a lot of lengths to like make it seem authentic. I mean, this is what I mean. I think the filmmakers, I have to give them huge props. I just think it's that decision-making level that I just think hasn't got it right.
Well, I think there's a bunch of people in here fighting. You know, there's a well-intentioned film fighting to get out.
Definitely.
But the kind of end result, because you know, fuck, as if like if someone said to you, "Do you want to play Carl Reese?" Of course you'd do it.
Yeah.
And, like, if someone said to me, "Do you want to build Terminators for this film?" You wouldn't even look at the script. You just do it, and then you would.
I think as well, like all this stuff. See, this is kind of what I want to see. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think we need to, but I think if you're going to see anything, I like the idea of like the relationship between Reese and John Connor, and I think they get it quite well. Like I think the actors do a good job with it. I think they're miscast in a way, but I don't mind that. I do think they do a good job of all this stuff. But it's like.
But again, it's kind of like just an atom away because like they're all dressed as super cool Halo space soldiers, and really they should be wearing rags and improvised armor. Yeah. They've all got nice haircuts, and when they're standing around, hey, remember that time we tried to brew some booze? And it's like, no, remember being constantly hounded by robots and living in a sewer? Probably.
Yeah.
Like,
and they've all got comms and stuff, haven't they? They've all got radio.
Yeah, it's all
equipment.
super because like the tech comm you see, admittedly in Terminator 2 it's a bit glossier, but in Terminator, the first Terminator 1, it's really scrappy and, you know, kind of improvised and dirty.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, they're all kind of, you know, they look like video game characters.
Yeah, it is too clinical. It's definitely too clinical. But I don't, again, like I say, I don't mind it. It's just the fact that they just have to go another step further and another step further to the point where it's like, you know, like he gets nanobots put in him and he turns him into...
Also, this is never explained because the point was supposed to be like the timeline gets altered. So in Star Trek, they very clearly explain what happened.
Yeah.
Like, there's time travel and stuff. In this, how did Skynet get here and know to change the... How did Skynet know...
Well, it implies there's
a
grander plan, right?
Yeah, and there was... because, once again, it's the start of a trilogy, so supposedly it was going to be revealed to us.
Yeah. This is another thing as well. Like, what... Have they got, like, a kind of... A team of, like... potholers or something, like they've got all those floodlights. They've got they've built a little rudimentary. They've built a little bridge up to think. Shut up! It looks like you know what I mean. They've got a construction crew in there to like.
Yeah, well, this is the problem. It looks like this war doesn't look that.
Were they in the
bad,
trucks that you drove in?
Oh, there's probably a bunch of people who just still have jobs and they just hired them in from HSS Hire, which is still open.
Tool station, mate.
Tool station. Other brands are available.
Yeah. Yeah, it just goes to, it's like you say, it's an atom away, and yet it goes way overshoots the mark as well. Like there's that sweet spot that's just not hitting.
Again, there's all this kind of slavish recreation of stuff, but then when you see the Dysons, they don't really look different, but they seem to be completely different people.
Yeah, they're like, what's that, Danny? I don't know, Father, who's called Miles.
Miles Bennett, die, Swan.
Die, Swan, die.
Oh, I'm starving in a nuclear apocalypse. Oh,
gotta take my protein bar.
Oh, well, I ate more rats than everyone else and did more press-ups because I'm awesome. I mean, like, the whole thing of Kyle Reese being sort of, like, jocular and friendly. It's like, no, he's like this horrible, beaten down...
I don't like that as well, because, like, when he's in... when he goes into the future, into the past and stuff, and he's all just like cracking wise and hanging out with Sarah, and him and Sarah have this weird relationship now.
Also, by the way, he's a virgin.
Oh yeah.
So that man there is a virgin and has never done it with a lady.
Yeah.
That is a thing to remember. Or maybe Skynet went back and got his dick sucked for him, so just to change the timeline.
A Terminator prosy to.
Oh, I got blown by a robot. Now I'm going back in time.
Screwed.
Get in the fucking time machine.
And he looks like the fucking Terminator.
I know. He would be better placed playing a Terminator. Look at those tits. Jesus Christ.
My
look at him.
I know.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me, wanger.
Oh God, I've got great abs, mate. My thing as well with all this as well. The other stuff is of the whole like. Look, once the Terminator goes back, it's over. You don't get to just like it doesn't play out in real time like in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
It's done.
You know, admittedly that you're kind of speculating with fourth dimensional thinking, right? But I share your opinion. Causality, it's done.
He's there now, But I mean, again, this is why the first film is great, and every subsequent one has just lost it a little bit. Like the first film is is a causal loop. It has to be. And this is what I might, obviously we'll see what happens with Dark Fate, but it's like, in a way, the decision, apparently anyway, the decision is that a Terminator just rocks up and kills John Connor.
It would seem.
And it's like, I can almost get on board with that in the sense of like, it's a loop that has to close itself. If they've destroyed Skynet, I mean, obviously, I don't think it should be a Terminator that kills, but there should be like some
trips on a brick.
Well, whatever it is, but there should be some sort of eradication of John Connor. But, I mean, I always felt like at the end of Terminator 2, why don't they just both disappear? Because they've just stopped Skynet, which means they would never be there.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because the kind of causal loop is kind of a grandfather paradox, or I suppose bootstrap paradox. Like it's that, it creates itself. The act of sending the Terminator back creates the whole situation. Yeah, basically. And oh my god, how could I forget? Because it's in the title of the film, which is one of the worst titles ever. That Genisys is an app, and apps.
Yeah, and the way they explain the rudimentary dumbing down, like the guy, it's that doctor, isn't it? Who's like. He's got like an Apple Watch, an iPad, an iPhone, like, and he's just like covered in an earpiece and stuff. And they're like, "What's Genisys?" It's like, "Oh my god, it's so amazing, right? So here you go. Okay, what happens is my tablet and my phone and my asshole can all talk to each other." And it's like,
wait,
what you mean, like Bluetooth or something?
Were we all killed by Dropbox?
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck are you talking about?
I love that. I love the expression of what Genisys is, because it's like. That's just what everyone has now.
Yeah.
So basically my calendar is on my phone and my iPad, and a little voice in my ear tells me when my appointments are.
It's like if they brought Wi-Fi online all at the same time around the world.
A big switch.
And it required like loads of computers.
I love it. It's so dumb.
That's such a made-up tramp as well, like he's not.
Well, this is the thing. Everybody looks like they're cosplaying, or they recreate the bounce well, don't they?
Yeah, even more.
And again, this shot, like, it's spot on, but what's the point?
Yeah, I know. And he doesn't look. He just doesn't have the like you say. Michael Biehn is just like fucked by it.
Yeah, he's scarred, and he's kind of.
They put the scars on him here, but it's like it just doesn't look like any of it hurt. The thing they miss as well is, what, in the first, part of the original shooting script of Terminator 1 was that they sent 2 resistance fighters and one got stuck in the the fire escape.
Fucking horrible.
But there's a shot I noticed, because I to cleanse my palate, I rewatched Terminator 1. And there's a bit where like Carl Reese looks up and like has a look on his face when he comes back to time, and I was like, I wonder if that's because they shot that in preparation.
Well, something that I quite like about the original Terminator script is that
it doesn't have the tyres. Look.
Yeah, look, this is the thing, because they've got the costumes on them. Obviously, the first far left is what becomes the first Terminator's costume. Yeah. So they've got that spot on, but the rest is kind of like, close enough.
Yeah. I know, because he looks nothing like, what's his name, the other guy, the guy who gets his heart ripped.
He's a really famous actor.
That's another thing, actually, I hadn't noticed, which I've only just realised, is, obviously later on in the first Terminator, he has the biker jacket, the leather jacket. That's being worn by Bill Paxton, so he nicked that as well. This should also be called Terminator Genisys : How Not to Do a Plan. Terminator Genisys : If I fail to plan, I plan to fail. It's basically like, that was your plan. Like he was just going to walk up to him and beat him up
and announce himself. He just announces himself.
He spent all that time coming up with a pithy line.
And Sarah, and what I also like is. Sarah, she's seen running. You've had 10 years. Like, what the fuck?
Like, why was this your plan? You could have shot him while he was talking. You could have literally just taken him out. That's what it boils down to. But it's like, we have to have a Terminator on Terminator fight. That's what they think we want. That's what really frustrates me about these. And it was true of Terminator 3 as well. It's like, they think we really want to see like robots hitting each other, and it's like, not really.
Yeah, there's more better, more better,
more
better, like this whole, and because surely, why don't you have the Terminator operate a sniper rifle? And the entire point of this plan is, when he's coming, and he doesn't know that you're coming.
He's been there ages. And he walked up and had a look at Los Angeles. Like, why didn't you shoot him then?
I never should have stopped his head.
Yeah, exactly. Batman's a scientist. Like what?
I called the big one Bitey.
Arnie versus the monorail. What does that even mean? It's so stupid. Like it just this is the thing. Is the real lack of the thing. One of the things that I think people really love about the first and second film is even though the second film starts to unravel the sort of continuity of it all, it still feels like it has credulity. It feels like everything in it is like it still has that internal logic and that slavish devotion almost to its own internal logic, and it's like and this just pisses on it, because it's like, this is what has always annoyed me about every subsequent sequel, is it's just like, no, that's not what they would do. We know these characters so well, and they just wouldn't do that.
So as I sent you this clip just a couple of days ago, the Terminator in Terminator Dark Fate is called Carl, and he's supposed to have broken his programming, and he's a good boy that has all nice thoughts.
He's figured it out for himself.
Yeah.
What the fuck? It is wrong to terminate. I know that now.
I know now
This
why you
guy's
terminate.
great as the T1000.
Yeah, well, he's Snake Eyes, isn't he? No, not Snake Eyes. He's from he's Byung-Hyun Lee. He was in the G.I. Joe movies.
Right.
Storm Shadow, is it the white ninja guy or costume?
He's got the walk down, like he's definitely.
I think he fucking nails the T1000. He's really great as T1000. He really nails it, which is cool. He's got he does the kind of cat-like thing.
He swiped him across the chest earlier, and I didn't realise he actually got him. Like, he's got a cut, but I bet it's not there later on when he gets in the time machine.
I just want it to be known that Jai Courtney doesn't deserve these shoes.
Yeah, this is the most egregious thing.
This
See, they get all this right. I mean, again, I think he does a great job of recreating the stuff, but it's like you say, what's the point?
Well, I find it quite... So this is directed by Alan Taylor, who is primarily a TV director. He also directed Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, I think he can do it. He's just, I don't think he's in a position where he's not allowed to say anything, isn't he? Like,
precisely. This is... I don't want to reflect on him at all. It's hired gun. Like, he doesn't give a shit. It's like, make it look like... And I'm not... look, someone gave me fucking $1 million to do this, I'd do it. I'm not saying he's incompetent or anything like that, but it doesn't matter to him. He turn up, do the job,
I'm sure he gives a shit, because I do think he's done again, it's not up to him. This material is not his.
But to me, it's telling that... Well, that's my point. Like, again, I'm not calling him a hack or anything, but they've hired a TV director because they want someone to get it.
Yeah.
The person directing it is not a creative decision.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a business decision, it's a kind of pragmatic decision. Who's going to bring it in tune and on time, not cause any fuss, get it in on a budget, you know what I mean? And I don't mean to insult him or anything like that. That even makes the fucking tramp trousers all sexy, you know what I mean?
Well, it annoys me as well that his hair is different, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to go through like a more sexy hair version of, but it's like, Corey's had a kind of mullet going
and Corey's had a bit of stubble on as well.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, it does bug me that in the first Terminator he doesn't he still looks fairly cleanly shaven for someone who's spent so long underground, but whatever. So like what they do, I mean, inserting a T1000 into this stuff, I mean, alright, I don't like it. I don't want any of it really, but if you've got to do it,
and
I don't
again,
think this is bad.
It just undermines the threat of that character, because it's like, it turns out you can just kill him with acid.
Well, and also like there's another one. Or is that the Robert Patrick one?
Yeah, because it can take any form. Like, is it? Like...
So is that the Robert Patrick T1000?
Yeah, because the T1000 was an advanced prototype, right? Here's something
Well, yeah, because it implied there was only one of them, but apparently not, because they're just in a pool around the time machine.
Oh god, oh god. There's another thing this film does, is what Terminator 3 does in the deleted stuff. It advances all this stuff in the timeline. It's like, well, why is that there? This guy sort of looks like an off-brand Alan Tudyk, doesn't he?
Well, he's J.K. Simmons, isn't he?
He's young J.K. Simmons, yeah. I don't know why they felt it was necessary to... I mean, I don't want to lay into Americans here, but Americans love to refer to their kind of ethnic identity based on where their family emigrated from, right?
Oh,
so they
right,
shoehorn
so they're Irish, but they're like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They shoehorn in Kyle Reese being Irish, and it's just like... Right. Like,
okay,
I mean, fine, but what?
My family came here. They were settlers, and no one cares.
I really feel like that's a bit... And just to have his mum go like, "Oh, Colin, did you get your Genisys, you naughty boy?"
Look, we've tart of everything. I'm Irish. Cup of tea, father. You can't fire a Desert Eagle like that, leaning over a passenger seat.
What are you talking about? Amelia Clark could one-handedly fire a .58 caliber gun. It's one of those guns that no one ever actually uses. It's just like, you wouldn't ever actually issue it to someone, because
I think he's great as the T1000.
Yeah, he nails it, man. He
Absolutely
really underappreciated. He, really gets it. I kind of wonder if my kind of low-key... Because one of the kind of mysteries we're supposed to care about is where Sarah Connor's T800 came from, right?
Yeah. And
I think the resolution was going to be that these two sent it back or something. I don't know. But whatever. I kind of wonder if, because it's total fan service, is that meant to be the Uncle Bob Terminator from Terminator 2 that they intercepted and sent back? It's meaningless because they're generic, right?
Yeah.
Because the time I'm saying they've sent that particular Terminator back because the timeline's changed and whatever.
Right.
It's meaningless because they're generic robots, but cynical cash grab that this is. Would they then go in the next film? Oh no, this one was supposed to go to 1991, but then we sent it.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
In fact, my favourite shot in the film is, which is saying something, when.
Sorry.
Oh god,
this
because
this is just the same as John Connor. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like father, like dipshit, off-brand, non-sequel son.
Simeon's son.
Fucking.
So he's just throwing his own shit and like. Yeah.
My dad's a time chimp.
I know, why would you dumb the character down like that?
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would he do that?
And why would he also, like, the other side of it is like, oh, it's because he's in the future and he's had the, he's like, when he sees Terminators, he does that. They don't walk around like that.
Let me remind you of the line from Terminator 1 where he's like, I wasn't sure until he zeroed in on you.
Yeah.
They don't all walk around looking like that. He doesn't know the Terminator's a Terminator till it draws its gun on Sarah, which is why he has to follow it into the club.
And it also pisses me off because they shouldn't all look like Arnie.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Like, they would never make that.
It's been luckily each sequel resets the continuity, but doing it a third time stretches credulity in any,
I gather that, like, basically in Dark Fate it's going to be as well that Carl comes back, kills John Connor and goes, right, done now, and then sits around and sort of goes, well, maybe killing people's wrong.
Takes like basket weaving or whatever.
Yeah.
Because presumably he goes off to that cabin after he's killed, if that is the case. They've sent an Uncle Bob back, right, to take advantage.
One thing, this is kids' theories as well, but one thing I was always like, why don't they just send a Terminator back like 100 years and get it to sit in a cabin somewhere and like dream up Skynet?
They did that in the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Apparently. Right. They send one back to like the Old West and it bricks itself into a wall and it's like, yeah, all right, sound.
Yeah.
It
makes sense, but like, yeah, I guess that's what that's supposed to be.
You've got mastery of time.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
But
this is also confused, isn't it? All this kind of like dual timeline shit. And,
oh,
Kyle, take your tablet. You can synchronise your calendar. I'm from Ireland. She does just this shitty Irish accent. When I'm probably going to find someone's going to comments for that. She's actually Irish. Okay, fine. Oh no, I've got two memories.
They really want to introduce that ticking time clock element to, and the thing with Judgment Day, as far as up until the second film, was that it was this kind of, it was this looming threat, and it wasn't far away in terms of years, but it wasn't a fucking, it wasn't a countdown to Judgment Day. It's like.
It's totally true. Like Terminator 2 should have just had a giant clock in the middle.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not like Independence Day or whatever, where they're like, there's a countdown and we're gonna fight, and everything's gonna get destroyed. Don't smile, dickhead. And it goes beep. Like those are muscles doing that.
Muscles. Don't get me started. And the thing about him like aging out, it's like what the fuck. I find these scenes quite weird, particularly in the van, because they've de-aged him for this stuff, and it looks odd. Because he looks, it's just made weirdly. Arnold is one of those celebrities that doesn't have that Hollywood bloat face. Yeah. Yet this has given him, he looks like John Travolta in these scenes.
Yeah, I gather that he's not really had a lot of work done, or if he has, it's very minor.
It doesn't look like it with him. So. Like you look at Stallone, and it's like,
that's also pumping yourself full of testosterone or do that to you. But
fucking human growth hormone.
Yeah, but I think he looks alright in this. It's just, like you say, it's like, it ages. It's like, stop shoehorning him into the bloody movie. It's like, look, either make something good or don't make it. Like,
see, here's the thing with this, right? Now, I accept, and it's another thing that's just kind of forgotten from Terminator, right? So I accept that the flesh covering would age. Because in the first Terminator...
It rots.
He gets injured too much. In the original script, he has like a rudimentary digestive system and he eats Milky Ways and stuff, right?
Right.
It rots. Someone tried to argue with me once, because in Terminator 2, he says the bullet wounds will heal. That means the skin grows back. No, they heal and scar.
Yeah.
Right? Like so this Terminator gets his arm melted off. He goes like, my skin will grow back or whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
And it just grows back. And it's like, if his skin grows back, why does he age?
Yeah.
If he has regenerating abilities like a fucking gecko or whatever, why does he age?
If he's Wolverine, yeah. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. Yeah, it's a stupid. It's just a lazy excuse, and it's like they always roll that out like it's the cleverest thing they've ever thought of as well. And it's just like
I love.
well, it's covered in living tissues. He's actually what age if you think about it. It's like shut up.
What I quite like. So Schwarzenegger has stopped dyeing his hair, right?
Yeah.
And I'm actually thinking Dark Fate, he looks really good.
Yeah, he looks better with it.
With the beard and stuff. He looks really cool. Like, not necessarily as a Terminator, but he just looks cool.
Yeah.
In this, he was still dyeing his hair. So, he was like Tom Jones with that brown hair dye.
Oh, they had to artificially grey him up.
So, for the second half of the film, he's walking around with flour in his hair, like a kid playing Moses in a school play. It just looks ridiculous. It's like, dude, just don't. But, you know, definitely there would have been that discussion risk, like, I'm naturally this colour.
Yeah.
Whereas, and they've put him in. Have you watched the stuff from Mortal Kombat 11 with the Terminator?
Oh, someone sent me that, yeah.
I got to say, I said this to you on Twitter because I wanted to make it public rather than say it to you privately. The voice is shit and you could do it way better.
Oh, okay.
However, they're really having fun with that. Like, one of his fatalities is he shoots your kneecaps off and then a time bubble teleports you to the future and you appear in the future crawling through the skulls and then Terminator comes up and shoots you. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like, super
that
brilliant.
Is pretty cool.
And Scorpion flames him and all his skin melts off and then he turns into Terminator, but it animates like the Terminator from the end of the first Terminator film.
Oh, okay.
And he does the kind of backhand strike and stuff.
Oh, no.
Because I looked at that and thought that's so tacky, but then I looked at it again and I was like, that's so tacky, I love it.
Yeah.
We're through
Well, if you're going to do that, it doesn't have to have the
After-
you can do that. Like, that's fine because it's a computer game, but like...
After this film, the Terminator might as well be played by a CGI Benny fucking Hill. I mean, the dignity of these characters has long since been eroded.
Again, it comes back to a criticism I had sort of something like The Last Jedi. Why are they flying... no, they didn't quite match up. There was a reflection of the car being on fire, but they turned the corner away from it, and then it was still behind. Anyway, this sort of squad, you know, these are last-ditch attempts. Like Last Jedi and stuff like that was the last time you were going to get... Or even The Force Awakens, you know, well, that you could have got the original crew back together. You never put them in the same room. Really.
Yeah, and the point of theirs was their friendship. They're like, a big part of that was their friendship and stuff.
It's almost like they're going like, yeah, we know we could do that, but we're not gonna, because fuck you.
Well, J.J. Abrams is all about what he considers subverting people's expectations, which is just doing something the opposite way in a contrarian, cunty way for the sake of it.
But this is a sort of... I feel like they're doing that with these as well. It's just like, Schwarzenegger ain't going to be able to do this forever. Well, he probably thinks he can, but like he's not going to do this forever. Like, you could legitimately make the good Terminator 3, right? And I think that's what they think they've done with Dark Fate, and they might have. All evidence is to the contrary, but they might have. But it's like, you're not going to be able to use him forever and a day. And it's like, I gather there's a lot of de-aging stuff in that as well. Like, you know... Yeah,
well, it sounds like Edward Furlong did do some stuff. I've got a bit of an inside track on that, because I interviewed Edward.
Well, no. Himself.
Yeah, I filmed an interview with Edward Furlong. I didn't interview him. Gary did. Gary Smart. But all I know is he wasn't allowed to talk about Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah.
Which is what he's like, I can't talk about it. Which is basically saying, you're in it.
Yeah.
Isn't it, really? He was like not allowed to talk about it, so he must be in it. So I don't know. Because, yeah, they've got a body double for young John Connor.
Yeah.
So he's going to be him in the Public Enemy t-shirt, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be Linda Hamilton de-aged as well.
I gather it's supposed to be like shortly after the events of Terminator.
I think it's and the thing, this is the problem with that kind of sequelizing. It's just kind of like, it's the same complaint I had about the Star Wars sequels. It's like, so basically everything they did failed, and they've all been miserable for 40 years. So the whole thing was a waste of time.
Yeah.
And if
it's Alien 3, isn't it?
The denouement to Terminator 2 is, exactly, Alien 3. The denouement to Terminator 2 is it's a complete waste of time, and they just died. Or John died, and it's like.
What is that as well? I'm sorry. Like, it's a great idea. Like, it can regenerate. Why? How would it turn him on again? He shot his power source out.
It can't mimic complex moving parts.
Well, right.
It can just fix a hole in a robot. I mean, did they shoot one wire off? And
it just effectively acts like solder.
Could you have stuffed tinfoil in that hole and had the same effect?
Yeah. Oh, that's an awful look. They really, the T-800s in this don't...
They've got this really kind of jerky movement, which I know it's supposed to be a robot. They did that because they reused in the new film is Skydance, which is very interesting. I do want to talk about that for a bit. There are very kind of minor modifications to the T-800, like the chest plate and stuff is different.
In this?
Yeah, in this one.
Yeah.
It's quite subtle, but it's there. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's different. And it would appear
its
that
proportions are different.
they're reusing those assets for Dark Fate, it seems. Because it's Skydance as well, and they've probably got a fucking ton of Terminator stuff on hard drives and physically made and whatever. So they're kind of doing that. Something that was discussed a lot at the time with this is how James Cameron came out in support of it, right? And said how amazing it was. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to why he did that. The rights were set to revert to him shortly afterwards, and the kind of general idea was he was saying that to get in good graces when the rights come back. I didn't realise until quite late on that Dark Fate is also produced by Skydance. So he clearly wanted to keep that partnership with the Ellisons to get that film made, so it wasn't going to come out and say anything. Because he's been actually quite deferential about all of the sequels.
Yeah, he's never, I mean, again, that's politicking as well.
Yeah,
you can see the shave marks in his face fuzz. Like that's, I mean, that's I get it. I mean, I know myself.
No,
You've got to play the game, man. I mean, I'm doing a bad job of it today, but you do have to play the game. I mean, that's just the way it is, and it's a bloody hard industry to get working, even if you're James Cameron. Probably, like, it's not always just easy as like, oh, I'm going to do a job today. It's like, it doesn't happen like that, And so I get it. Like, I totally get it. And again, this is why stuff like this, I try not to be too hard on it, because I just think, like, blaming Emilia Clarke for it's like someone saying, do you want a job? It's like a massively well-paid,
she does decent enough. I mean, she's not Sarah Connor.
She looks too well-fed. They both do. And I don't mean that she's fat. I just mean that...
It's their portrayals and their attitudes as well. I mean, I know she's supposed to have had her whole life changed from her childhood, but something about, like, why give us insights into what her favourite pop music is?
Yeah.
It's extra... her liking Elton John and the Ramones is the same as Carley's being Irish. It's this really lazy attempt to sort of, give character. Yeah. I think the thing is, here's what the thing is with this, man. Like, they wanted the Terminator film that revisit the other... Here's how this has gone. The producers knew what they wanted. They wanted a Terminator film where they revisit the first film, Schwarzenegger's in it, this, that, and that happens. And all they do is go to a writer and say, write that, and go to a director and say, direct that.
Yeah.
It's so boilerplate and kind of... It's sausage, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and the filmmaking on display is good. Like, I mean, it's all very, very competently made, and I don't.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it technically.
No,
it's just, I mean, it's a bit bland and it's a bit clean. It misses on a technical level. It misses the look of the Terminator film.
But I think again, that's down to the type of like what we're going for in terms of.
I couldn't make anything that looks like this. It's really high end.
Yeah,
but it's like television is like this now, and television is incredibly high end.
Yeah.
You could get an HBO show that looks like this.
Why doesn't it melt the floor? Let's just accept that we do that every time.
Yeah, sorry.
But it's also like the Terminator, Arnie holds him out, and it melts the skin off his arm, but not his arm.
I mean, it's just begs because no, I think I'm done. The Terminator. No, clearly, obviously, the Terminator comes back with this knowledge to pass to Sarah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, obviously the Uncle Bob Terminator didn't know this, because the Uncle Bob Terminator is all kind of like, it's going to be really hard to deal with this thing. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
We need to rig a room of acid, and we'll get a mannequin and dress it up as John, and we'll put it in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
My skin will grow back, I guess, or whatever. Bye.
But my jacket won't.
Oh no.
You might check out my awesome hoodie. It's from the Gap. It's fantastic.
They love to show their hand.
They also love it. Oh, they just chuck it in an acid bath to explain away why that doesn't create.
Is that what's left of the T1000?
T800.
Oh, T800. Right.
It's the headless
Gotcha.
T800.
I didn't quite. I've never really clocked that before.
Because they take the head, don't they, and then take the chip out and put it in the thing. But that was its body.
Yes, of course. They need the chip to power the time machine.
But just Rude Goldbergian time machine.
Just to be clear, you've spent time building a time machine. You made a T800 trap room, but you couldn't be bothered to turn up to the observatory in time. You lazy fucks.
Yeah, I know. And the other thing is, I mean, again, I don't have a problem with all that. If you're going to do it, I suppose they would do this sort of stuff. But it's like there's a throwaway comment about not being able to use his CPU, isn't there?
Yeah, because it'll fry it. What the CPU they use gets fried.
It gets fried, right.
The whole thing of like
that's wanky dialogue as well. Like again, write less.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I cannot come with you due to the quantum mechanic. No.
Yeah.
Just, I can't come with you. And then if they go, why? You go like, I'm not covered in flesh anymore.
The time nexus as well.
So due to the quantum field, and it's just like they're supposed to learn to be more human, right? Like, if he spent however many decades with her, like, wouldn't he be more human? Like, they make jokes about him, like, I talk like a nerd or whatever. And it's like,
Whereas in the space of a few days, Terminator 2, he manages to adjust.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas in this, it's all wacky hijinks. Wah, wah. Nice cosplay, man. I mean, the other thing is that they say in the Terminator that you can't go forward in time, but
do they though? Because I'm
no. He says you can't. The line is that there's no going back now. Like, what's that fact? Is that because obviously if you travel to a time where there's no time machine,
that's what I
can't
assumed.
Use a time machine, or it's just not possible to go forward in time?
I assume it
really,
was the former.
Because I always assumed it was the latter. But
okay.
actually, you're not given that. And that's one of those things, as a kid, I was kind of like, forward time travel.
Well, it's a great exercise in restraint, that first film, because it's like you say, they had plans to show that he had a rudimentary set of guts or whatever. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, how would the skin be attached to the skeleton? It can't just be formed on the outside. It's got to have ligaments and shit that connect to, and it must have muscles.
Otherwise it'd just be like this big bag.
Sack.
Like sometimes, Like sometimes I think about that, like just a baggy skin suit. It's like,
and also like his eyebrows wouldn't move. You know what I mean? He has to have muscles as well. It can't
flesh
just be
attached
flesh.
to the.
So it's got to, and then therefore that's got to be fed, and like, how is that fed, and blah blah blah. But don't answer those questions,
because like the regenerating, growing back skin, it's just don't. Because like Terminator 2 says it heals, right? Because he gets shot. So it heals. It's not the same as healing. Is not the same as regenerating.
Yeah.
I would just like to say that Matt Smith is awful in this.
Okay.
Speaking as a Doctor Who fan, don't want to get anyone in trouble, but like his American accent is fucking dog shit. And the problem is they throw themselves into that thing of like, as Skynet gets quote unquote older, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean, it goes from being played by a number of younger actors till it eventually grows up into Matt Smith.
Right.
And they all have better American accents than him. So it's thrown into shade in like a short, in a short, he's in the new Star Wars.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. Or Star Wars as it's called in America.
Good for him. Good old Matt Smith. I just don't remember having. Apparently, I had lots of drunk rows with him about films. I don't remember it.
I'll leave that one.
I like him. I think he's great in The Crown and everything. I do think he's.
Hey, I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm gonna do it 10 minutes before it's supposed to happen. Again, this is the other thing. Was like, you have a time machine. Why don't you go? You
know who fucking Sarah and the Terminator are, don't you? They're those people that when you're supposed to meet them in the pub at 8 o'clock, you say like, I'm leaving now, and when they're actually just getting in the shower.
Yeah.
They're exactly those people. It's like, oh, you at the observatory yet? Yeah, just leaving now. 5 minutes away.
Oh, my cat was sick. Had to clean it up.
Someone once told me that they were 10 minutes away. They're just leaving their house. I was at King's Cross, and I know they live in Zone 4. And it's like, don't. You're in London, mate. London better. You can't bullshit me like that.
I think as well, like that. Like, what is their plan? Like, and also like this shows that they are not only time machines, but they also teleport you.
Yeah,
that's something I like. So on the description for Terminator or the Terminator on Netflix, it says like blah 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 blah. Machines in the future like teleport a robot to kill certain. And I'm like, teleport,
mate.
I suppose it is in that. Like,
Netflix descriptions are vile.
They're wonky,
they're
man.
So shit.
Clearly written by someone who just doesn't know what happened.
Some fucking intern has to do it. You know what I mean?
But it's like that. But in a way, they're not wrong in that. In this, and I guess in the first one, although you never see where it comes from, but it's like it wasn't like the time displacement field was at Griffith Park
the thing as well.
Observatory.
It's displaced.
Yeah.
So that bit it cuts out the floor is then sent back or forward.
Yeah.
So it displaces it. Yeah, I don't know in terms of location stuff, but this just becomes this kind of wacky sci-fi romp now. Well, it already is that.
Yeah.
Also, this is like nearly an hour in.
I know.
This whole kind of basically 48 minutes. The first act takes 48 minutes. There's an hour and 10 left.
Yeah.
There's an Andy Sedaris film left.
I need a wee.
Oh no!
I'm gonna leave you now.
Now, I owe Caspinus an apology because he was pointed out how I kept leaving to go for pisses and I didn't know what he meant. And then I watched back and I was like, yeah, I do just fuck off a lot. Bye.
Bye.
So sorry, Caspiness, I owe you one. We're in Duncan's house today, so the toilet's just adjacent, so it's easier for one to wee during commentary. But this has been a parade of just sort of bitterness, hasn't it? They probably should do more silly voices and such, like, in a moment. Yeah, I mean, here we go. This scene in particular, this is kind of forced romance thing, because, you know, that's all been kind of knocked out of whack. But he's supposed to be in love with her, but you don't really get that right unless they sent the robot prostitute back like we described earlier. A little bit of Emilia Clarke's boobs, which is, you know, familiar to Game of Thrones fans, I suppose. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I just know it's got boobs in it, and she's a woman in Game of Thrones, so there you go. There you go, bit of silhouetted boob action. I mean, it's just so achingly competent, isn't it? It's just average. It's fine. I mean, in terms of its, you know, the way it's put together. Again, I wish I could make something just like that look like this. It's just the script is so fucking boilerplate, which puts us in the stead for Terminator Dark Fate, which, God, it only seems like 5 minutes ago that we went and saw this and reviewed it and did the commentary, you know, and it was sort of like, what's coming next? And now we're in this strange situation where we're going to find out in 2 weeks' time before Duncan and I are going to go see it the day it comes out, pretty much, which is going to be interesting. And on a related note, on Judgment Day, end of August, they did lots of screenings of Terminator 1 and 2 as a double bill nationally, which I went to. And they were giving out Dark Fate posters to people as they left the auditoria. And they were putting them, a lot of people putting them straight in the bin. Did I tell you that? I just told the boys and girls about...
What's that?
Went to the Terminator 1 and 2 screening.
Oh, yeah.
And they were giving away Dark Fate posters as people left.
Yeah.
People were walking out, unfurling them, realising what they were and putting them in the bin.
Oh God, that's like when someone hands out flyers and stuff on the street in the pig, just in the bin down from there is full of them.
I saw what was going on and I didn't take one because as a member of staff, it makes you feel like an idiot, right? Because you're giving a thing out and there's the waste involved, and it was just like, oh, jeez, like that's a depressing indictment of the non-excitement for a depressing indictment of the non-excitement for Terminator Dark Fate.
The relationship between Sarah and Carl. See that, like, he's learned nothing. I know now why you cry, but I don't after 20 years of hanging out.
Yeah, just nothing.
Yeah. But I obviously feel like it's slightly anathema to hold both that and Carl can't have learned to be good in the same place, but at the same time, I don't like it. Because I don't think they can fight their programming. That's the thing. If you sent it to kill all humans, and then it's like, I like humans now. Yeah, well... but anyway, the relationship between Carl and Sarah in this is so antagonistic. It's like, you know, it's supposed to, I think what they're trying to do is they grow to love each other because of that, like that she's a petulant.
Well, I did comment on that whilst you were expelling urine. In that, well, keeping in mind he's supposed to be in love with her. Yeah. And they even showed the photograph and everything.
There was green all over his jacket. Was that just a reflection?
Yeah, I think there's a green light.
Oh, okay.
In the scene.
Is that bits of uncomped?
Fuck's sake. Yeah, because I get the thing is with Sarah, you kind of get a lot of license because she's had a complete timeline rewritten. So this has been going on since she was a kid or whatever. So I suppose it's only been about 10 years because she's supposed to be 19, I think, Sarah, or 20.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. So she's had her whole kind of timeline rewritten. So you could, as a character, she's completely different. But they make her really unlikable.
Yeah.
Like Sarah, something about the kind of original Sarah where she was likable when she was this innocent. I think also part of it is, obviously the big part of it is role reversal, and it's very on the nose because it's kind of like come with me if you want to live and stuff and whatever. So her and Carl's roles are reversed. But she's just kind of a bit of an unlikable dick. and Kyle Reese is a smug bellend. You know what I mean?
I mean, she's kind of like John is in the second film, which I think is probably where they've drawn their inspiration, is that like if you had a Terminator all the time, you know, your own Terminator, you would be kind of a dick as well, but like as a kid, you know what I mean? But like not a 19-year-old. And like you say, I mean, it's totally fair enough that she's a different person. But like, see this, I don't get it. Why do they turn up in the middle of a freeway? I thought the whole point was you could dictate where it went. And all right, maybe he knows where they're going to be because he turns up. So why would you do that? Like, it's like saying, oh yeah, I'll take my chances and just appear in the middle of a freeway. Yeah. You get run over. Like, what?
And everybody sees that, and you're naked. Is the warehouse supposed to be where the freeway is? Oh, God, fuck that as well. He sends them from LA to San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's the other kind of big thing.
I know, it's like, well, is it that imprecise, or is it just that, like, because Pops knows where they turn up, so...
Are your boobs okay? let me check them.
He just took a full car to the back as well. Like, how is he still walking?
Having fallen out of the sky not that long ago.
Yeah. Like, the cops were just there. Were they?
So this is another thing with this is, you know, they have to go to 2017. You know, we want them to go to 2017 because then you can get rid of all of the period set dressing and just sort of go into something a bit more boy. Look, it's his fucking grey flower hair.
He's got like stock photos of them in his files or whatever.
He's got press shots.
Yeah.
This is a shot here where they use it in the trailer. Like she really kind of looks like Linda Hamilton. I think it's this where she kind of leans forward, and it kind of makes me wonder, did they tweak it a little bit? Not that shot. I think maybe they just used it for the trailer, but there's a bit where she looks really like her. But
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, I suppose if you got to pick from a list of famous people, she does look like, she's a lot smaller. She's more diminutive. And it's nothing against Emilia Clarke. Again, like I like her and I think she does a really good job. But it's like I just think I don't know. Like,
there are no Americans in this. I mean, there are. There's a bunch, but like
I know
the central cast.
Yeah,
is
true. Yeah,
a couple of Australians, an Austrian, and a British girl.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Sarah Connor. That's me stereotyping my own country, I guess.
Queen.
Hello.
But and it's all shot there, isn't it? Or in America, it's not like it was shot.
Yeah,
here,
no, I don't think. Yeah, no. Well, you know, Alan Taylor, I guess. I don't know if he had say in casting, but obviously he's worked with her on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that could just be. Do you know what? She's in a popular TV show right now. Get her in.
It's probably like I can get her if you want her. You know, I have an established relationship with her, but I'm sure that's probably what. Yeah, I mean, it's.
I don't put anything on these guys because it's not their fault. They're doing the best.
I don't put anything on any one person. That's the funny thing. But I mean, it's probably there might have been a few execs who made bad choices.
I'm all about my.
But then they
misinformed ire is directed at the producers.
I think again though, like they're doing it because they're like, look, we're betting. I think the way it boils down to is everyone feels pressured to bet the farm on these because they're acquired for a lot of money. The rights are acquired for a lot of money, and so you're like, we have to make this a blockbuster. And that's the problem. The first two films really didn't have that. Maybe the second one did, but it's like they didn't have that expectation on them.
This scene is confusing.
Yeah.
This is my favourite shot in the film.
Yeah.
Because he's like young, he's wearing like the Terminator 2 costume, but like with the gargoyles.
Yeah, great and everything, but why?
No,
I mean, also
like,
gargoyles in when 1960 what like
or 1970 whatever. Like that is an image I like in isolation. If you show me that as a still frame, we're like, oh, it's cool.
Yeah, I guess.
That's all. But I don't understand what's supposed to have happened here. A T-1000 killed her parents? And he blew it up with the rocket launcher?
Yeah. Well, doesn't she say something like she jumped out of the boat?
Because her dad, go swim in a straight line.
Yeah.
And isn't she sort of like, oh, there was liquid and I thought it was water, but it wasn't water. It was a liquid boy. Or
well, I gathered that the T-1000 was in the water and it tried to get her in the boat, and so she jumped out.
And he blew it up with a rocket launcher?
Yeah.
Like
or did he? Because
launcher? I mean, what?
Well, no, I gather that he didn't, because obviously it's implied. I think that T-1000 has been chasing her ever since, you know, and it's like, yeah, I know. What? Or like they went into hiding for a long time and you didn't find them. Or I don't know.
I don't want to shoehorn in old stuff, but the commentary we did on this previously, I described this film as being dragged face first through a meadow of smeggy cocks, or words to that effect. This is a waste of J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons is better than this, so much better than this.
But again, it's that thing of like, hit you on a job, mate. You know? Yeah. It's the same thing with him being
He's really great. He's really great in it.
Yeah. He's Commissioner Gordon. I mean, he's J. Jonah Jameson and Commissioner Gordon and J. Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson again.
Just a different one, I guess.
He's great. He gives a really great performance. He gives a way better performance than this film deserves.
Totally.
He has the line, "Goddamn time-travelling robots."
Yeah. But again, it's a day player thing of like, he's probably spent a week on this or something.
Yeah, too right. No, he delivers it really well because he's a really great actor.
Yeah.
It's just like, I hope he got paid well, basically. I'm sure he did as well.
Probably.
Because it's shoehorning in a bunch of essentially a bunch of famous faces from TV.
Yeah,
let's face it.
They're both in something. I think the two cops.
Virtually everybody in this is known from TV. J.K. Simmons is a movie star now, but he was in Oz and all sorts of stuff.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Schillinger in Oz. Oh my God, that show.
You may as well. I didn't know what Oz was. I'm not going to know what Schillinger is. I know what Oz is. And it's a prison TV show.
Oh, like he's like the leader of the white supremacists, and he is the most evil character.
Here's the 18-year-old doctor who knows what Genisys is. It's John Mayer and his fucking Genisys explanation. Although John Mayer's like 40.
Oh, I can send you a JPEG by WAP.
But all it is there is just a countdown clock. That's all we ever see.
Oh,
It's like
God.
countdown till we all die. Like,
Oh God, they've just sent out. Everybody's bought their first. So I'm going to carry around essentially a rectangle with a clock on it until it launches.
it's like buying a thing.
You know, like when you buy an
and then it
iPhone,
counts
the
down,
iPhone
and then
11 when you got it and didn't work for a month
Yeah.
because there's a clock on it.
It's like paying for something and then being really disappointed when you see the final result.
Like going to see Terminator Genisys.
Yeah, or something else.
That penny took a while to drop there, but I got there in the end. You might have said I got there last.
Yeah, see, this all slows down as well, and then John Connor turning up really just derails the whole thing for me. It's like, what? So he's here now? I guess he time traveled.
Again, John Connor is the Terminator. It's just like.
Is that what caused all the cock up? So, like, when Matt Smith takes him over, does he then jump in the time machine and go sending other Terminator? I mean, I guess that's what it is, isn't it?
Oh, I suppose, yeah. But
And then just because of that, that means that Skynet's more advanced by the time it gets to, I don't know, like...
Because they have designations, like Matt Smith is Skynet Incarnate is like the T3 5000, and then John Connor one's a T3000.
Oh, but there's the T1 million. That's a giant... It's just a big T1000.
It's canon! It's canon! I love that. That's so lazy. But then the whole, the T2, the ride, I mean, it is at the end of the day a bit of off-brand fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's not to be taken too seriously. And as a technical exercise, it's really great. Don't waste that. Like, how is that? I mean, like, having...
Oh, but then John Connor later on goes, I can't be reasoned with, I can't be bargained with, I can't be... And he just reels off the cover. How do you know that? You don't know that. Like, fuck off. Oh, no, it's just the thing that people are destined to say.
It's this strange fucking pantomime of all the you know, what it feels like. This film is like... It's a weekend at Bernie's. It's like someone dressing up the corpses of your loved ones and having a tea party with them, you know what I mean? My dad didn't speak like that.
Yeah.
Animating his corpse with fucking, you know, rods and pulleys.
Well, again, I do ask the question, who is all that for, really? Because if you're a diehard fan of this stuff, people will know that is not how you evoke that. If you're not, then it's meaningless anyway. It's for that sort of middle ground idiot who goes, a reference...
Yeah.
And like, it never understood the context anyway. So it's like, well, what's the...
Exactly.
If they didn't get the weight of it before, then...
Divorce of their context for the sake of it. This is an absolute well of bitterness and darkness, isn't it? But, you know, hey.
It's like sort of just quoting Shakespeare for no reason in the middle of a film. It's like, yeah, that was a thing that happened and was good. How does he know how to pick handcuffs as well? Like, don't make out that he's just a jack. He knows all this sort of stuff. It's like, well, what? In the war, were they handcuffed to stuff?
In Terminator 1, he is handcuffed and he knees the guy and gets the keys off him.
Yeah.
There's not a scene where he picks a handcuff.
Yeah. Because he wouldn't know what... Like, why would he have training?
He went to Terminator jail, didn't he? He got arrested. He got arrested and sent to Terminator jail. Went next to that one who was drink driving.
And I guess some Terminator came in with a clipboard that had a paper clip on it, dropped it, had to go out for his regularly scheduled break because apparently HR exists in the Terminator.
Yeah, you have to have half an hour for every 4 hours worked.
Yeah. Why has he got the scars on his face? Like, what? Like, okay, he's there, but why would he have the scars? Is that?
Oh yeah, no, because if he turned up without the scar, what's that going to look like?
I suppose
because he melts the scar. I'm going to go into bat. He melts it off when he comes out to him.
He comes out.
I'm coming out. I want the world to know.
Gotta let it show, but then I'm in my scrotum.
Good eye, Mum. You want to shelve a pinger, you cunt?
Listen here, cunt. See, that's Miles Dyson. No, that's Danny.
Danny Dyson. But when you see Miles Dyson, it's just not not the same
No.
at all.
Like, you couldn't get Joe Morton.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't we say that last time? It was like,
you know
told them to fuck off. Because it was like the one man who had any integrity at all was Joe Morton.
I really liked it.
Shove it
I'd
out
like
the
to
mouth.
hold on to that because Joe Morton does seem like a dude.
Of all of them, I mean, not to do him down because I love Joe
No, but
Morton.
he doesn't just do any old shit though.
No,
does he? I
no,
never
exactly.
got that impression.
Well,
'Cause he,
Justice League.
oh, that's
He's good, isn't
true. That's true. I forgot he did that, and that's that is referencing, ironically, is referencing Terminator.
Yeah. So the bear was what? Like that's your cover.
This
is
is
it?
just like the roses.
That's to
isn't
not draw attention to yourself.
It's just like the box of roses thing makes more sense. But it's funny, right? Because imagine if he had. It's not. He's a robot that kills things. Why was it? He wouldn't have a teddy bear, would he, Duncan?
Making the familiar unfamiliar.
News. Got it back minus the power pack. Yeah, it's just so lazy, isn't it? Because like the kind of box of roses thing works.
He's Jason Clarke, isn't he? And
He actually is her son.
Amelia Clarke. Yeah.
I'm from the future.
Yeah.
I'm Amelia Clarke's son.
Crawl out, you clacker!
I was sent here by President Aaron Paul from the year 2052.
But as we know, he got that scar from being clawed in the face by a Terminator.
Yes, of course.
What was red hot?
Want to know how I got these scars?
Me father was a drinker.
Oh God, back to that. Well, I mean, this whole stuff, and then kind of like they do this sort of, battle exposition when it's like, don't worry about time travel, just have fun, and that goes for you all too.
Yeah.
They kind of do this sort of dark version of this where like they go, if you kill us, you won't exist, and he just kind of goes, fuck it, mate. Just
Yeah, he goes like,
I've
says
cried at
who?
a time
Isn't his
nexus.
response is like, says who? And it's like, but also says who that it won't. Like, what? Can you really be that sure about that?
And this is the thing, because he kind of is John, right? Because he's been overwritten by the Terminator, but it seems to have like his personality and his memories. And
The implication is at the cellular level, he's been turned into like nanobots or something. But
this is the thing that at the time it just, because they revealed they shot their wad in the trailer, but they might as well have. The twist that he's a Terminator, but it really feels like if you've got all the words associated with his franchise on a table and you just mix, put them in a hat, and John Connor is Sarah Connor. No, it doesn't work back in a hat. Kyle Reese is John Connor. No. John Connor is the Terminator. Oh shit, we cracked it, son.
But I gather it's something they wanted to do in Salvation anyway. That was always going to be a
that
thing,
is
right?
true. Yeah,
it is a thing that's been lingering around for a long time, and it's like, I think there's something to be made of like, look, if we have to do John Connor is taken over by nanobots, like I don't like this, but like let's put an slightly interesting slant on it, which they sort of seem to do in this, but they never come down on either side of the fence, which is that like once you make John Connor a machine, but you still leave him as John Connor, it's like, would he then decide? It's like the idea that John Connor decides it's better to have.
Skynet just go back itself? Because it can look like John.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah. Why doesn't Skynet go do the whole sit in a cabin thing and take over the world whenever it wants?
Yeah.
It could probably stop humans from ever existing if it really wanted
Just
to.
go and exactly
Like-
right. Just go back and strangle the first Neanderthals
Just
or
fucking
whatever.
blow Adam away or whatever. I don't know.
Oh wow! It's like a creationist Terminator film.
Whatever it is.
I'm going to go back 3,000 years to the birth of the
God,
Earth.
mate. What?
Oh.
Oh yeah, because he goes, "That's right, Dad," or something, and it's like, what? And it's like awkward. You're my dad. So he does his hands. I
really
like
did.
Jason Clarke a lot. I like all. Well, I
I've
like
just
all,
remembered who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. So about that,
We called him Khaki Raphael.
funny hair. I've just remembered that you.
Why doesn't he turn into a bomb or something and come and get us?
Yeah. Doesn't work like that.
Oh, so now we're
Shouldn't be doing that.
To be fair, I didn't want to shoehorn this back in based on the last commentary, but Arnold's hair does look like Ian McKellen's hair, but now you've made me realise it looks like Alan Ford's hair. Do you know what Terminator means?
Chocolate talks too much. Oh, again, really, like, would Carl Reese be that stupid? Like, he's the baddie. Like,
he's a complete. You know that's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Other than ruin his hair, his stupid hair.
Like, oh no. Like,
oh no, small arms fire. The thing I'm designed to absorb.
Always have to. Yeah. I think they always have to do where they just look up slowly. It's like the standard Terminator move. He's had a job as well. At a construction company.
I just love the idea that there's this massive Austrian weirdo at the pub. They're like,
they've been invited out for drinks evenings and shit like that on the weekend.
Mate,
like,
can you imagine him bringing in muffins for the cake sale?
Hey Carl, it's Miller time. Like, it's Sarah's birthday. Or like, whatever. Oh, Sarah's a bad choice, isn't it?
I have purchased birthday cards for everybody in the department.
Do it 5 years in advance. Does he say he gets laid off as well? He got laid off.
I'm claiming
what
unemployment.
What did he do with the money? That's what I want to know. Where did it go? In a bank account? When you have to have ID to have a bank account?
He spent it on a big vault of guns, didn't he?
Don't you have to have a social security number when you start?
He's a very clever boy. He must have got one. He can't be president though because he wasn't born there. He's got that Austrian accent.
I guess the idea is that he stood in that room for however long it took his flesh to grow back. Then he went out and got a job. You know what I mean? Like about what? I don't know. 3 months.
Oh man, he's been paying into a pension and everything.
That like goddamn time travelling robots covering up their tracks. That's covering their tracks. That room's destroyed. What are you talking about?
Look at this. He's like a ghost.
It's like he was never here. It's like what?
Oh god, they appeared in an electrical sphere in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Also, that means that he's transferred from LA to San Francisco to pursue his vendetta against the time traveling robots, Mr. J.K. Simmons.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, I know it's still California, but
yeah, but it sort of implies as well because he turns up in a bit of a rush.
You got something on your face, mate. Yeah, he's like doing his tie-up.
That he drove from LA to there. I don't know.
They say he's an alcoholic as well, don't they? And again, it's like these kind of unnecessary wrinkles to the character. It's like that isn't the same as characterization.
Right. Again, why didn't Skynet just do that?
I'd be good if I think this film needs more of the characters audibly sighing when they're given information.
This is again the whole thing with it. When you've got time travel and you start buggering about with it, it just raises too many questions. It's like like I say, the first film worked because it's a loop. It's a causal loop, and you can't ask too much.
The second one's a stretch, but it does enough kind of character development and everything to carry it off.
Yeah,
and it becomes this compound thing. I mean, this is as I said many times before, this series is kind of an exception because no one's really owned it fully for ages, and it's bounced around, so it's had so many different fingers in that pie. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just sort of it's just collapsed under its own weight so quickly. Because at least Terminator 3's time travel stuff is basically cut and paste. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, we've got to have another Terminator on Terminator fight because no reason.
That's what we want.
Again, I think he sells it. I think like Jason Clarke sells all of his stuff well. I think he, you know what I mean? Like he's got crappy dialogue and he does a really good job with it. Like they all do. They're all great.
Yeah,
wasn't that supposed to be Robert Patrick? People thought that was in the trailer. There was that shot. And the guy on the left with long hair kind of looks like Robert Patrick.
Jesus Christ!
They were like cameo.
Word up! Oh,
that doesn't happen as well. I'm pretty sure that's not.
It's like someone let air out of a balloon.
Yeah. It looked really CG as well.
Here we go. He's going to get magnetised.
Oh.
Fuck's sake! Look at that.
Let's throw each other at stuff till we break.
I don't know about you, but I quite fancy a Pepsi Max. Can't think why.
I know, like that because I saw it smashed in a film. Like what?
Turns out their vending machines can't withstand robot fights. I'll have a cherry one.
Just to remind you that there's also some like things as well. Like, is that true? I take it on face value that they are giant magnets. Why aren't all their things getting sucked into the room? And like, what's the
MRIs are giant magnets,
right?
I've been in it. You must have been.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So anything magnetic they take off.
Yeah.
But I can't speak for the nanobot guy. But the Terminator's made out of titanium, and one thing I've been told, because I now have a big bit of titanium in me forever, is that it's not very magnetic. I never got to the discussion about can I go in MRI machines, so I don't know.
Right,
because that would be fucking awful.
That is bad, isn't it?
I would assume not, but like it's not particularly magnetic. I mean, one of the reasons they use it is because it's unreactive across the board, you know.
Right.
But I kind of, the imagery of like the kind of shadows of him.
Yeah.
You know, you're that close to Terminator Genisys to having some kind of visual metaphor.
Yeah, I know.
What I mean?
I know. It's just sort of like.
Because this is the thing.
Can you turn it up to be more magnetic? Is that a thing?
They're going to need to fill that up with more sparks, because all the sparks are gone.
Letting all the sparks out, mate.
See, here's the
Born
thing.
in a barn.
Here's the thing about this, and yeah, I'm not made of sparks.
Our sparks bill is going to be very high.
Well, we're a hospital. We buy them in bulk, but it's not the point.
Go down to sparks level. And
You know, there are people in Africa that would die for just a handful of sparks.
Well, why don't you send the
Put
sparks?
it in an envelope and send it to them. I hate you.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, this film, so again, totally competent, right?
Yeah.
There is very little nuanced visual storytelling in it.
Yeah, well, once you get out of the stuff that was already done by someone else.
Well, exactly. So even to the point of like, this is why I kind of find it televisual. So, you know, really fucking film school 101, right? You want to make someone look imposing, you shoot them from a low angle. There's some of that. With Schwarzenegger, there's a bit of that. I mean, in terms of like visual metaphor, in terms of just visual storytelling and not just having the characters give info dumps, there's hardly anything. Because like the thing, again, the one thing I can think of, and there might be more, John Connor is sucked into the MRI machine, and firstly it's kind of like that Ascent of Man
Right, yeah.
diagram. Which, evolution, because he's gone to this higher state.
So, yeah.
But also it kind of looks like shadows of himself, and he's supposed to be a shadow of himself.
Yeah.
But I think that's the
you're
stopped
reading
clock
that.
that's right twice
Yeah,
a day.
yeah.
Well, this is the thing.
That's
You
you
could,
doing
as
the
a
work,
filmmaker,
not the
exactly.
film,
I'm
yeah.
doing the legwork for him. Surely you would want to put that kind of stuff in.
Yeah.
Because, you know, images, like Terminator 2 is full of, like, images of family and childhood and paternity and stuff like that, and kind of role reversal and, you know, PTSD, whatever. It's there. You know, the first one's kind of about technology and kind of nuclear panic and, you know, stuff
Terminator
like that.
2 is literally, when you bring it down, it is literally the whole make the familiar unfamiliar. Everyone in it has their roles reversed.
Exactly. Everything. There's some extra layer to it. This, and I'm not saying TV can't do visual storytelling, but it tends not to. TV, you know, traditionally tend to be more focused on script because there's no time for that kind of craft. It's changed now.
It's also that thing of being, especially American TV, is that continual second act right up until it isn't anymore. You know, until it's cancelled, in other words. And so it's that thing of like, it therefore has to kind of just be this ongoing story that's being told rather than having a kind of rounded thing. I hate that.
It's shoehorned in.
Why is it doing that as well?
Look,
like,
this guy is no way like. And
Joe
the thing is,
Morton,
like, Joe Morton's character as well, because here he's kind of executive guy in a suit. Joe Morton was.
You never saw him like that.
Yeah, he was kind of like what we would now see as a kind of like laid-back Silicon Valley tech genius guy that wasn't really in the syntax end, but you know, wearing a kind of denim
He's
shit.
sitting in the you know, on the sofa in his office.
Look, he's all about going to raging waters and wearing double denim.
Yeah.
And getting harassed by remote control cars.
Well, you know, and the Cyberdyne of Terminator 2 is all like, you know, it's paper everywhere, it's messy.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very much an extension of him. Like, as a company, it's very like. I never got the impression that he necessarily ran it. Like, he didn't own it.
He was like the big.
He's a director or something.
Well, he's kind of the. You have this
Head
a lot
of
now.
research or something.
Yeah, he's got a senior role in the company because it's all based on his ideas, but they have shareholders, a CEO.
Yeah.
Because like Elon Musk, say, is someone who puts himself at the top of that pyramid, and blah, 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 but that kind of figure who does the inventing and whatnot.
Yeah. Like Danny, we've just got Danny here for just again. That's pure fan way.
It's a fact because these two don't need to be the Dysons, and the fact that they in no way resemble.
Yeah.
Danny was a kid.
Yeah, so you get away with Danny.
Danny was a kid, and this is supposed to be 25 years after Terminator 2, so whatever. You know, they'd have moved on.
They never come down on the side of saying. I assume that Terminator 2 just never happens then. As a
It
result
must
of it.
not have done, yeah, because everything's gone timey-wimey and bananas.
Yeah. So it's not like, well, I guess, yeah, it can't have done because they're alive, right? So
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go,
alive.
yeah. I mean, again, it's just so, you're constantly told stuff, but there's no, it doesn't use the medium of film.
Yeah,
You know, it's not cinematic.
Well, again, it's very jarring as well that we've now, as soon as all the original recreative stuff is gone, it's like it turns into a completely different. It's very much like, I mean, like I've said about stuff like Superman Returns, and in fact there are other parallels to that as well. But it's that thing of like it's a sequel, and again that's that cherry picking sequel stuff. But it's also like, but there's no consistency, and again I would argue like what's her name in that? Crap, sorry, Lois Lane.
Blimey.
Sorry, I should know that.
It's right there on the tip of my tongue.
I apologise to the actress who's not listening. It'll come back to me. But she's so don't write it in the comments, please. She's unlikable as Lois Lane. Now Lois Lane's supposed to be a spunky reporter, but she's supposed to be like have a human side that Superman brings out of her, but he never does because she's just the aggrieved, pissed off ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it's like, and in this, like Sarah Connor's kind of the same. It's like she's just aggrieved and annoyed at him.
Yeah.
Without any cause to, and like, because she knows about him already, so she's like, you would say. It's almost like they've been married for 20 years.
Yeah, she's just like, a dick. They make her unlikable, and it's really a real disservice to that character.
And I think they think that's empowering. You know what I mean? I think
whereas actually it falls into the sexist trope of women as nagging bitch. Yeah, exactly.
Like, because she's smarter than that or whatever, and she doesn't need a man to help her out. It's like, no, that's not what you need. And that's not even what the first film was saying. Again, it comes into all these guys are like, oh, she's badass, this is a feminist piece. It's like, the original film was not about it. It was just a great film with a great character and a great, and Cameron has been, he's very into like writing mother figures as protective well, and like, exactly, as being sort of the
True
tough.
Lies.
Yeah, exactly. But like, and all that's great, but it doesn't. It's not done with a view of like we're gonna, just be a shitty person as a result of it and just roll our eyes at men.
They just make her unlikable. I mean, the thing is, she only interacts with men, so I'm not so sure that it's men are dumb, but
no, I'm not saying that. I just mean that like they're making her out to be that.
Yeah, no, they just make her really unlikable. Yeah, I hate this.
I know.
The whole thing of the Terminator being her dad.
Yeah.
The worst line in the film probably is "Look after my Sarah."
With Sarah.
It's just, oh god, that's just tepid diarrhea. Absolutely gargling, tepid diarrhea.
I don't get all this stuff as well, like his hands not.
Well, Terminators fall to pieces within 30 years. Then do they?
Well, I guess because he's been beat up by various. It's fair enough, but like and it had acid all over it.
Well, this is like old but not obsolete though, and it's kind of like surely I'm not convinced that they're built that badly.
And I'm also.
And what's he been doing? Working in construction. People don't fall apart that easy.
Yeah.
Old but not obsolete.
Is that a thing that he would sit around thinking about? You know what I mean? Like it's like.
I'm interested to see what Carl's going to be like.
It's a play on middle age, I guess. But
Carl Terminator looks so much better than this. That looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's just like, guess what? He is actually that old. Just let him be.
Yeah.
I think it was him and his hair dyeing antics. That
It's just for men.
It's Grecian 2000.
I love the use of the word antics there. Very good.
It suggests a bit more pep than that activity perhaps
him like dancing around the bathroom just for men.
Listen to that song from Risky Business. The slide across.
Singing into his hairbrush. And then someone doesn't want him to do it as well.
That's the lost years of this Terminator.
Yeah.
It's just his domestic life.
Well, I know it's like to keep up appearances. I got a job in construction at Cyberdyne, got married. Like, this is my wife, Belinda.
I'm on Tinder.
This is my wife, Broomhilda. Hello, Guten Abend. Yeah, I don't know why. Again, it's like, why does it have an Austrian accent? It doesn't make any sense, like even in the first instance. But like, that's just what I mean. Is what it's like. Just don't explain it away. But like, because we have these sequels and stuff like that, it's like just more and more exposure to this thing that just doesn't make sense.
Oh, it's the kind of Han Solo's trousers argument, isn't it? He makes fucking magnet knuckle duster.
Magnet knuckles. And by apparently just taking those out and crushing them around his own knuckles.
Yeah.
One, a humorous substitute for your own knuckles. Go on.
I have to go.
I'm needed in the basement. Magnet Knuckles, the candy of 1,000 uses. Name one.
A humorous substitute for your own Knuckles.
Go on. But yeah, it's and then John turns up, doesn't he? Oh God. And see, this is what I mean. They're trying to have a little bit of Terminator 2 in here as well, so they're being pursued by the bad guy. But
they just then shoehorn John in motorcycle leathers as well, because the Terminator has to have motorcycle leathers.
Yeah, and he rides a bike as well. He chases them on a bike. It's like,
yeah, and having the kind of bus flip, and doesn't. Oh no, I think I probably made this up. I thought there was a school bus in Terminator Dark Fate, but it's not. It's like a big yellow JCB Caterpillar thing, I think.
Probably. Oh yeah. It's like a dump truck or so. Chases him. Gabriel Alunar. He looks good though. I mean, like again, I'm worried that film is going to be like this bit was good, but like totally
Gabriel Luna looks really cool as a Terminator, but then also that Terminator is really, hey bro, what's going on?
Yeah, I like all that stuff. That was like,
he performs that really well. But is that what a Terminator's like?
I quite like as well that like I like what this makes me sound like a horrible misogynist because I can't remember female names, but I can remember male ones.
I can't remember my wife's name.
Yes. What's her name? What's the lead actress? Not obviously.
What, the one from the future?
Linda Hamilton. Yeah.
Fuck. I know.
I did this last time.
She's from Black Mirror and Blade Runner.
Yeah, I remember. I did remember. It'll come back. She's anyway. I think she looks cool. I think that whole thing. It's just I don't know. I just see too much echoey of this though. In like
there's frightening echoes from this, and then just sort of like when it's two planes smashing together and stuff. It's like
yeah, I know. And then they're like hanging off the cargo net or whatever. Like they're jumping out of a plane into another plane or some bollocks, and it's like
we know the future's all wacky now, right? Like there's some kind of crazy. Not like Skynet doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. It's what's it called, Legion or something.
Yeah,
and you see some glimpses of the future, but then they have like the Terminators walking out of a beach in this sort of recreation of D-Day, where they've got those
beachhead thing,
those anti-personnel or tank things on the beach, and it's like, what? Like, were they there at D-Day? Is that what you're saying now? Because
Skynet did go all the way.
We don't really use those anymore, mate.
Well, I don't know. I don't. I won't speak for Future War, but yeah, it's all a bit like, duh.
Yeah.
It's almost as if there's no story left and you've had to pull this out your arsehole, which is what the call that the Star Wars problem, if you like. It's that thing of like there's nothing left, there's no more story to tell, so you have to kind of bend over backwards to pull something out your arsehole.
I really hate to say nasty things about Amelia, but she is so diminutive.
She does seem just tiny all the time. I don't know how tall Linda Hamilton is though, to be fair.
Taller than that. I mean, she looks great.
Yeah, I mean, because Linda Hamilton standing next to the Terminator always seemed.
Yeah,
because Arnold's not huge, is he? He's like 6 foot or something. He's not.
I think he's under 6 foot.
Because famously, there's that picture of him with Tony Blair, and Tony Blair's taller than him.
Yeah. I don't know. That was a bad. I mean, she was just indiscriminately almost firing a grenade launcher around.
Yep, Terminator walking out of fire.
Tick. This is what I mean. Like Gabriel Luna's Terminator looks a lot like that.
Yeah, the actual thing itself. I mean, he's doing it. Yeah, these new Terminators are all kind of personable and kind of like affable. They're not dipshits anymore. But
which I quite like.
Well, I don't know. It depends how that's justified. Because if they're just like that and it's not discussed, it's like because there's a. I don't know. Oh God, I always do this.
Actually, you're right. Sorry, just please keep that thought. Sorry to interrupt you, but there's an awful lot of stuff like that was done in this as well. Which like they explain it all in the press release. But not in the film itself.
Yeah, do you know what that is? It's symptomatic of this idea that, like, because Terminator 3, had all those tie-in comics and novels and stuff that weren't adaptation of the film, but was separate.
Yeah.
And there's this kind of assumption that it's all going to be this massive franchise, you just have to keep up with it. And it's like, no, I'm not. I shouldn't have to get this from the trivia section on IMDb.
Yeah.
It should be in the film. And hey, you could maybe use that with visual storytelling.
Yeah.
Like, the medium of cinema.
I know.
Never mind.
Anyway, sorry, you were saying something before that.
Well, a certain thing that's happened recently is like, so in here I go. In the Picard trailer, they were introduced 7 of 9, right? Do you know 7 of 9 is from Star Trek? She's like an ex-Borg character. She's like she talks like a robot. So she's kind
there
of
were
like,
9 of her, and now she was.
Well, she was tertiary adjuncts of Unimatrix Zero, but never mind. She was a Borg,
Gobble,
right?
gobble, gobble.
She was a Borg, so she says like I cannot and whatever. She talks a bit like a Terminator,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen her for 20 years. She's in the Picard trailer. And it's kind of like this with the Terminators. When she turns up in the Picard trailer, she doesn't say this, but she might as well say like, "Yo, Picard, you big bald motherfucker! What the shit? Come over here and give me a slap on the ass!" Like she's welcoming, like, "Yo, what you doing out here?" And it's like,
yeah.
I know it's been 20 years, and they're going to go like, "Oh yeah, she's become more human," but it's like that's such a jarring.
Right.
And it's sort of like when I see in the Terminators, like my whole body's a weapon, brother. Like. And the thing is, it's a really great line reading in that trailer. Like,
but why would he tip them off?
right,
again,
exactly,
you know,
exactly.
What? Because he's got like that pride in the fact that he's
I'm a badass
Terminator. Yeah, like people should know that.
And the fact that he can split in two is very much a Arctic Adventure Batman. You know what I mean?
Well, I know. It's like, why would that be? I suppose if you're completely getting rid of Skynet and starting again, it's like, well, this new thing would see that as an advantage.
Also, it's called Rev 9.
Yeah.
So Legion or whatever names its robots after Bible passages.
Yeah.
I wasn't raised in a Christian household. I'm not familiar with the Bible. I don't know what happens in Revelations 9, but I'm guessing it's not robots. But,
It's probably something to do with splitting.
If it is robots, Christianity is way cooler than I thought.
It might be to do with explaining the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost or something, like the Holy Trinity or
right.
You know what I mean? I imagine.
Oh, so maybe he's a Skellington, he's a Gabriel Luna, and he's also in the cloud.
But they're all
so
one.
So he's Father,
as well.
Son, and Holy Ghost. He's
Yeah,
the Holy Trinity, maybe.
Yeah, he's 3 in 1 or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man.
He's in the cloud, mate. He's synced to the cloud.
They survived this as well, by the way.
That's
very Superman.
Just to get them to the fucking hanging off the thing.
Yeah, Superman.
Because you've got. I mean, because this is
That's
the thing.
Superman the movie, isn't it?
Hmm?
That's Superman the movie. The sort of school bus hanging off the Golden Gate Bridge. Superman the movie.
Is that exactly what happens?
Pretty, yeah. Except
Wow.
Superman saves them.
Yeah.
Obviously, one minor discrepancy is that Lex Luthor done it.
Movie mistakes in the film Terminator Genisys when they're hanging off the Golden Gate Bridge. Sarah and Carl Reese are saved by Christopher Reeve's Superman.
In the background just flying.
This is incorrect because Christopher Reeve has been dead for a number of years, and the character of Superman is not referenced before or since in the film.
No explanation before after Superman rocks up.
School buses are still statistically the safest way to travel.
And then Superman does nothing about the fighting robots or anything like that. He's just like he pays no mind to the Terminator.
They paid $10 million to the estate of Christopher Reeve to recreate him in CGI. Brandon Routh was his body double.
Have you seen Brandon Routh in his new Superman
looks
suit?
fucking
looks cool,
rad.
Man. They've done the group
good.
shot of them all together as well. It looks really cool.
He looks so good in that Kingdom Come outfit.
I love that.
I haven't watched any of the Arrowverse shows, right? But I'm desperate to see Crisis on Infinite Earths. I don't care without context.
Yeah.
They've got Burt Ward in there. They've got Linda
they?
Carter in there. They've got the reporter guy from the Tim Burton universe, so he's going to be in it.
Oh,
so they're invoking
Knox.
the Tim Burton universe. Knox.
Yeah.
They've got Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne.
Oh,
right.
I am watching the
Right?
shit out of it. 'Cause I watched the first season of Supergirl, and I watched some of the second, and I liked it a lot. Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Quite cool.
It's quite cheesy, but in an
Supergirl
endearing
show.
way though. I don't think it ever. I didn't like the design of the Superman costume they had in it.
No, that's what I like her costume, but he's got those weird kind of tabs.
Yeah,
link up to his.
I didn't like that. It was over designed, but I thought she was, and she's great.
Tom Welling's in it as Smallville Superman.
Nice.
It's so cool. I don't even watch those
nice.
shows, but
I'm so glad for that. I mean, it's frustrating that Brandon Routh can't just be his Superman.
well, I wonder though because it's Kingdom Come
I
Superman,
suppose,
so
yeah.
maybe they're saying
He
that
aged
Superman
up to
became Kingdom Come type Superman.
He's in
He's
theory,
5'3".
Fucking hell.
This is the moment when they use bad. Firstly, they're referencing a TV show that's been off the air for fucking 25 years, or at least in this country, and secondly, using wacky comedy song.
Yeah.
This is I never walk out of films, but that was where I wanted to walk out of this.
Yeah.
When we first saw it.
And what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to suddenly laugh at that. Like, we've just had this. We're supposed to buy into the jeopardy of that bus chase scene, and then we're supposed to laugh at the levity.
Because the humour, people bulk at the humour in Terminator 2, and I understand why. Because Terminator 1 has the only jokes in it come from Lance Henriksen and Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra. I can't remember his name. great actor. Fuck. But the two cops.
Yeah.
Terminator 2 has humour in it.
And Silverman, kind of.
I was Silverman as well. Yeah, all the police stuff,
Yeah.
really. Terminator 2 has lots of humour, but it's quite subtle, quite dry humour, and it doesn't derail the story, and it does kind of inform the characters.
Yeah.
Because it's the kind
it's
of
not
awkward
without
relationship.
merit, it's on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas it's this kind of wacky knockabout stuff with silly songs and, props and...
They do this with some films, don't they? For some reason, they release tons of B-roll on YouTube, and they released this. And I remember they showed like the bit of Schwarzenegger doing this stunt that he's about to do. Where he walks through the glass, and he just like stumbles after. It's like they cut before that happens, but he's like, and then just like keeps walking. Man of Steel reference.
That was quite a good bait and switch.
Yeah, that was.
That worked.
Yeah, that it's when he pushes her and then like they cut away because he goes like, and he nearly falls over. Yeah, no, it's all right. But again, we're back in a police station. It's like they kind of did this in the hospital earlier. I always get confused when I try and remember this film because it's like there's two scenes where effectively they're put in an
sort
institution
of
in handcuffs.
offices.
Yeah, and it's like, like.
And I get compare this with the police station scene from the first Terminator film.
Well, the lead into it, firstly, is not Bad Boys. It's like the shot of the empty car with the horrific realization that he's got away.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like the
they are not
tonal
safe.
difference. Oh God, yeah, and Kyle Reese is in the building as well.
Yeah.
You're a paedophile, Sarah. You fancy him technically. Quickly arrest him, J.K. Simmons.
Oh no, and then she teaches him this straight line bullshit. Like that's supposed to mean...
Oh, well, thank you there, Sarah, for saving me little boy.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms. You're about his height.
I came through time for your Lucky Charms, Sarah.
And as well, they keep her in that sort of Terminator 2...
You're about his height.
They keep her in that Terminator 2 kind of Sarah Connor outfit, the kind of militant
Yeah, because,
thing.
hey, remember that.
Because that's the more popular one.
Oh, say goodbye to your friend from school.
Yeah. It's nice that you have friends, Kyle.
He doesn't get out much.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Ow.
Got your bloody hand.
Oh yeah, they've got magnet grenades.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I think this is a bit where I fell asleep and went through. So wow, they've got this armory in the police station that's full of like military grade weaponry, like because
honestly, the fact they've got the fucking it's a grenade. It's like magnet shotgun rounds as well.
Yeah, something like.
Because isn't there one for the rocket launcher, but then there's like the magnetized shotgun rounds?
I don't know.
There you go.
What does he
It's
say
a kind
here?
of grenade thing. Who cares?
He says something about this being a new thing.
Oh, such a waste of J.K. Simmons.
I know.
Because imagine it's like shit. Like I'm against Terminator sequels on the whole, but imagine how you could use J.K. Simmons in a Terminator film, right?
It depends what film you're making, but obviously, yeah, I would say there are things you could do.
All
with
kinds
them.
of, even as a cop, not this cop.
No.
But even as a cop.
Oh, here we go. And like Carl Reese can just fly helicopters, can he? Because they were all hanging around after.
Well, in Terminator Salvation, they were apparently.
Oh god.
Terminators can fly helicopters as well. And again, the constant thing of how much does a Terminator actually weigh?
Yeah.
Because it's wildly inconsistent.
So inconsistent. Like, because earlier they had a fight and cracked the ground around them because I guess they were forcing each other into the ground that hard. But like here, he can just hop in a helicopter, no worries. Although it does fall out of the sky. So that. Look, he's just sitting in it like
bad boys.
Like, does he think they're going to survive that as well? Like, surely the Terminator wouldn't want that situation to happen because that's quite dangerous. Like, they act like, oh yeah, we were going to be fine.
Yeah, it's a good job they put their seatbelts on.
And that's another inconsistency, right? So the audience is supposed to think there's jeopardy because the helicopter's falling out of the sky, but it pulls up just in the nick of time. The characters don't seem in any way bothered about that. You know what I mean? So it's like, how are we supposed to buy into it? Like, no one here feels like they're really in any danger.
This is essentially the truck chase at the end of Terminator 2, and instead of going to Steel Mill, they're going to Cyberdyne, I guess, right? So but essentially the same thing. But it just feels
Oh,
like
God.
it's a video game cutscene, isn't it? It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's incredible visual effects going on here. I couldn't make anything like this, but ultimately, when it's kind of toy helicopters being smashed around, you know,
I just think, you know, I think part of the problem is you're co-opting a franchise, for lack of a better word, or a film series that was just done as well as it ever could be, you know. And even though you've got more technology now, it's not going to improve on it. You've got, like, I just don't. If they were making Robot Man versus, you know, whatever, then okay. But, like, you know, it would be one thing. But it's like this, and this, I guess, speaks to the inherent problem of just going back to the same wells time and time again, and, like, not being willing to move on and stuff like that. It's like, this is what happens: is you end up taking it's sort of like this. It's almost like the creature right at the end of The Fly that's an amalgam of all these horrible things that just cannot survive, and it's just like crawling like out of a, you know, womb, effectively, like wanting to die. And
it's a
like,
brundlefly.
It really is, and it's just,
well, like I said, it's almost like, I mean, it's funny because it seems you know, what they went on for ages was that films were centre of like a media experience, and Terminator 3 is a really good one because there was merchandising in video games and books and comics.
Sorry,
what, the I'll be back thing?
What, and he just uses himself as a human bomb, does he, to go through that? And it's like, how does he get back? So presumably he goes through that, must land in the sea, and like, and in the first one, or he stays in the helicopter or something. But in the first one, that tanker explosion was enough to melt all his skin off. This isn't, because he sort of just has another cut on his face.
And his clothes grew back, I guess.
He would have been thrown out of it at least. Anyway, sorry, mate, you were saying
so, yeah,
Terminator
anyway.
3 being...
well, things were placed at the centre of a franchise,
Yeah.
and quite often it felt as if the film itself was secondary.
Yes.
Because, like, and this, you know, didn't have all those tie-ins and stuff. I think there was like a mobile game or something, but it didn't have all those tie-ins, because that kind of seems to be over a little bit. It doesn't happen so much. Or at least in the same way, because the idea is you're going to make a TV show and more movies instead of like action figures and stuff.
Right.
But this very much feels like the thing where the film... It's almost as if the film is an inconvenience to those trying to make the money. You know what I mean? It's just something that it's an obligation that has to be filled and books have to be.
It's like a big advert for all the other stuff.
The shit, right?
Yeah.
But this had less of that in terms of books and all.
Like,
Terminator 3 had a fuck of a lot of stuff around it.
Yeah, to be fair to them, they did seem to be just trying to make a film. Well, but again, it was the start of a trilogy, wasn't it? Because and again, that's another thing that hamstrung it, but which was that, you know, it's like you can't just tell a complete story. The first one's a complete story. The second one is a completion of a complete story. But once you're trying to just make second acts all the time, it's like, it doesn't. Well, that's not satisfying to anyone, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, and this again, they reckon this new one's the start of a trilogy again, and it's just like, for fuck's sake, just keep it in your pants. You're lucky to be making another one.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Yeah, I mean, they really are wearing people's patience very thin, I think. And, you know, this one's now, because everything now has that political thing around it, which I don't want to get into, but I just mean that is... I don't think that's the film's fault, because actually I don't think they're going for that necessarily.
I don't either. I just think it's loads of children on the think
I do think it's tetchiness that, you know, has come out of all that, and I really don't think that's what they're trying to say. But I do look at it, and it's like, we've got Linda Hamilton back. James Cameron's kind of got his name on it now, and it's like, yeah, but...
Because that the direction they're taking there is like, because Linda Hamilton has been the only holdout.
Yeah, kind of, apart from Salvation, sort of, but not.
Yeah, it's kind of, because she did a bit of voiceover. You know, Edward Furlong was cast in 3 and then ballsed it up essentially. Yeah. You know, so you know, Schwarzenegger's been the one. Linda Hamilton's been the only one who didn't come back. You can't really bring back Michael Biehn because his character died, and it's a stretch in the second one when they do it. But
the problem with him as well is that his character never ages past the point of the first film, so you couldn't have old Carl Reese, could you? Cause,
exactly, yeah. Unless you did this film, and it's Time Nexus. But yeah, she was the holdout, so it's like, well, we get the band back together. Cameron's back, kind of.
Yeah,
you know,
still a curiously arm's length though. I do think he still has that plausible deniability.
I think he's up to his arse in Avatars. Though he's making Avatar sequels. That's his whole thing. I mean, I
just think it's where he doesn't want to do it. I don't think he's really that fussed about Terminator anymore.
I don't know though, because
it's the crown jewel in his thing.
He politicked with the Ellisons when this came out.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think he wants to have it back under his auspices, but I don't think he's bothered about telling more stories in it.
I wonder if it's a retirement fund.
Yeah,
because it's written by like Tim Miller, David Goyer, and Billy Ray. So it's got like 3 writers, and they sat and mapped the whole thing out together. And David Goyer is famous for getting involved with shitloads of quote unquote geek properties.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I don't know. But yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, sorry, I don't want to talk too much speculatively about a film that's due out very soon.
Yeah, right. That
will
that
render this commentary completely.
Quickly,
like everyone's like, "Well, you were wrong." Like, I'm like, yeah, we know.
It's alright. We'll end up doing a commentary to that as well.
Yeah, probably. Because it'll no doubt be on Netflix in 10 weeks. The Palialoid. It's like, oh, fuck off. It was a prototype. You had one of, but now apparently
got a fucking swimming pool full of them.
Yeah.
Right, I need to expel some urine as you did. So
Expulsion.
most people have tuned out. I've looked at the average watch time. Most people have left by now anyway.
Okay. Well, for those 5 of you who are still here, 5's generous. 3. Here they are in a big data center, walking around, and some Tesla coils and some dates. Dixons. Yeah. So. Okay, yeah, they're planting. I'm gonna do this is how Arnold does commentaries. They're planting bombs, and Genisys has just turned up, and they're shooting all the thing. No, yeah. So one of the kind of complaints I had about this when certainly when the trailer came out was that the sort of plasticity of the effects of Schwarzenegger's kind of endoskeleton kind of once parts of it are revealed. I have to say that is something they really did clear up for them, because it's very often a thing that people say in the trailer, no, you got to wait for the film because they'll have actually finished the effects, which is, I don't think, a valid thing to say, to be honest. But in this instance, yeah, that's a bit Richard doesn't like, when it looks like John Connor artificially slows down around the corner. Yeah, I do think they kind of cleaned up the effects. I do think it works quite well, seeing his kind of skull under the skin and stuff. It's been done very well, although it's too clean, I would say. I do think, and it's a criticism I have kind of the first film as well, is that when it's finally, the endoskeleton finally steps out of the fire, it's like shining and clean. And it should be covered in charred flesh and blood and God knows what, gruey matter. So but I do think they do a good job of it looks very much like the end. I'm just talking about Schwarzenegger's makeup effect. In that it's too clean, it's too chromy and shiny. Like it shouldn't. I don't think it should look like that. I think basically, and it's the same criticism I have of the first film. Is like it should be covered in blood and gunk. You know what I mean. It's but and again, the T800 has been designed to take flesh, so it should have things on it that allow for like sinew to attach and all that kind of thing. But. And again, don't pick it apart too much because it's just not worth it. But I was just saying that when the trailer for this came out, it didn't look very good.
Yes,
the bits they showed, and they did clean it up for this for the final release. But that's often a thing people now say about trailer CG. They're like, no, it won't be that bad in the final film. And it's like, well,
that can go either way, because sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, and sometimes you have to completely redesign your blue hedgehog.
Yeah.
Which they've been that's Paramount as well. They've been very quiet about that for a while, haven't they? Because I think the look of that character is the least of that film's problems. I mean,
I don't quite understand.
Did he just suck the flesh off his arm?
Yeah, just I don't know to what end though, because it's not like that did him any harm, is it?
So the T1000 dropped a glob of shit into a T800 and was able to basically revive it. Can't nanobot John Connor, who's constantly touching. Yeah.
Well, again, is that the thing they're not doing because they don't want to evoke Terminator 3?
Yes.
But
yes, the high watermark of Terminator 3.
Destroy a car.
Yeah.
That'll help. So the panacea for all Terminator-related illness: destroy a truck.
To be fair, he did punch a truck really hard.
That's how you reset a Terminator.
That's
fool them into punching a truck.
Is that how the new Carl Terminator became a good thinky boy?
Yeah, there's just this like field of destroyed trucks out back. Look,
No, punch a car!
Every time he has bad thought about killing all humans, he goes out and punches a truck. It's like Bender, like, you know, when Bender sleeps and he has dreams, he's like, hey, baby, want to kill all humans? He's just having those dreams about killing all humans.
Cole lives in a scrapyard. It's just loads of punched up cars.
Why are there loads of like holographic projectors around?
It's just
so
again
that he can talk to them. Like,
it's it's more dumb audience stuff, and again, it's giving Skynet a face, much like Helena Bonham Carter in her movie Cancer. It's just like, why, why does it have to have a face? It's worse when it's this kind of unknowable, inscrutable thing. If it's just banks of data, that's far scarier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of a renegade Time Lord with a wonky accent. Yes. I'm from America. Hello, my name's Skynet. Yeehaw, partners.
I don't think it's that bad.
Say, can you see?
In the middle of it. I am clearly American. He's kind of going for that. He's going. It's all right. I can get on board with it. He's all right.
I'm just being a cunt. I really liked him in Doctor Who, so hey ho.
I liked him in The Crown. Never watched Doctor Who.
Want to see the film? He did a film. Ryan Gosling directed a film called Clone with Matt Smith, and there was a time when Matt Smith was wearing a wig in Doctor Who because he'd shaved his head for this movie Clone. That I never heard anything about since, and it sounded kind of interesting.
That's right, John Connor. Go for the kidney shot.
Yeah, that's right. My kidneys.
Ow! I've been renally hurt. What happened then? Is that not what you meant to do the first time?
It wasn't. He just
I like to take the flesh off first, like I'm eating a chicken, and then like, what?
You're gonna boil the flesh later to make soup. Terminator soup.
Ow, my back! Ow!
Renal failure.
Old but not obsolete.
Old but not on dialysis.
Again, it's another thing that they say, like, oh, he's an old model from a deleted timeline, don't they? That's one thing John Connor says to him. It's like, that's what they're doing in Dark Fate as well.
Feel everything just groaning inside me.
Why as well? This like idea that John Connor came back. This is so slavishly
endless
recreating,
callbacks.
So,
endless callbacks.
Well, crawlbacks.
Crawlbacks. As it now looks like Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos.
And it's the thing. It was like John Connor just rocked up one day, did he? To Cyber and had a word with Miles Bennett Dyson and was like, "Yeah, we ought to build a time machine. Here's how.
Gives a job.
Here's how you do it." And they're like, "Yeah." I think I made this point even when we did the review of this back in the day, which is like, wasn't anyone saying like,
wait a minute,
there's got to be some regulations around building a time machine. Like the government might have something to say about that. It's a nice when they went to turn ready for that. When they went to turn CERN on, and it was like people were literally someone committed suicide because they thought it was going to be the end of the world. I
shouldn't laugh at that.
No, but like someone thought they were literally going to create a black hole and kill everyone, and it's like. But if that's going to happen with a particle collider, surely a time machine's going to attract some attention. You can't just build it on your own, so...
Oi, look, stop trying to regulate everything, dumb. If I want to build a time machine, I should be able to build a time machine. And there's no questions of response. Who should we let have this time machine? I don't know, like some big tech company?
It's like a No Man's an Island, my arse. It's like, I'll build it and no one will know. Like, what? Piece by piece with me own.
And why does he need? Does he say why he needs a time machine? Just because he's nuts and wants to go timey-wimey? Like, is that the idea?
Yeah, I guess to what end?
Because he's already assured the completion of Skynet or whatever.
Yeah.
Don Connor! Why does
for some reason I can hold him now, even though I know I've got my magno knuckles.
Why does he call people by their full names as well?
Because he hasn't learned.
Also is in Dark Fate. Sarah Connor.
Sierra.
It's so stupid.
He's going to say it.
This is the worst line in any Terminator film.
Aslan's outside the door.
It's the menagerie. Animal
yeah. Welcome to the Casey menagerie.
Wow.
He's like a feather to me.
He feather.
The thing again, you get away with it with John Connor. Because he's that character, and he's had a really shit go of having father figures, and then that one time when there was a guy who really looked after it, blah, 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 blah. That all makes sense. You can't do it, like, just cursory.
Unless we write a scene where her parents are killed. Oh, we are amazing.
El Scorpio levels of cocaine fisting going on.
Just handfuls of gack, day in, day out. So much gack.
Doesn't he say as well, like, he built that safe room in there for this very
Yes,
eventuality?
he added it to the plans or whatever. I mean...
and then his head just happens to fall in the parley. Lord. I thought
And is the
be
point
destroyed.
because, as well, at the end, he turns his arm into a blade? So is it just the arm that's made of liquid metal, or is it like his CPU floats around in the liquid metal?
No, I think
so he's completely liquid metal.
He's just completely liquid metal.
Bye, goodbye.
Oh, but look, my port is open. Even though it required to rotate the two locking cylinders counterclockwise. No, it just fell. Well, it was really deep in his head as well. You know when they do the chip scene in Terminator 2, it's like way down in his head, and it's like there, it's just like on the look, there it is.
Yeah, it was halfway fucking out, like when he got in there. Oh, I'm really annoyed.
And again, that we always have to end with a giant explosion in a factory. It's like
fucking generic orchestral music as well.
Yeah,
like the sonic kind of the soundscape of the Terminator films is so intrinsic. And they've never quite... I think, what we're given to choose from is Marco Beltrami, Danny Elfman, and whoever done this. And
under the auspices of bloody...
Yeah, Hans executive music.
Hans Zimmer heard about it. That's enough. Put it on.
I'm a consultant.
Everyone knows Hans Zimmer's brilliant because of The Dark Knight. Is that a window in there? Are we getting daylight?
It's a lamp. It's just a big lamp.
It's a UV lamp.
There's only one light, and it's a lamp just plugged in the corner.
Because that's what a Terminator would do.
He should have left like loads of Ramones tapes for her or whatever.
Yeah. What's that? What are you doing? That's not a thing.
She's making a bomb or something.
Easy money. I'm not sure that applies here. Also, how do you know that?
That'd be great if she had an Atari laptop.
There's that thing as well, isn't it? The Into Darkness criticism that is like, the Khan reveal can't be that, like it's...
Well, it doesn't have any meaning.
It has no meaning to anyone in the scene, but it's supposed to be for the audience. And it's the same thing here. It's like, all these things that now divorced from, like, none of the characters in the scenes will get what that means. So why are you, like...
Yeah, they're all presented out of context and don't have any...
Aslan, bugger off. Sorry.
The cat cast.
Cat is...
It's in that place where the film's nearly over, so is it worth going and dealing with the cat? And it's like, well, we're going to be done here, like very shortly.
He's early. He's like 5 to 3. He's whinging for food.
We told him.
Yeah, I told you.
I shared the Google Drive spreadsheet with you, Aslan. If you're not going to look at your device on a business day, then that's up to you.
He's got an Apple Watch. It's not compatible.
He's not got a Genisys. So.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. He's backlit it for some reason. Again, like I don't like the overuse. Like, so he's a T1000 now. Firstly, he's chosen to look like old version of himself, but then I suppose that's for her benefit. And second of all, like when someone hugs a T1000, would it feel like clothing and flair? Yeah, I mean, like, isn't it going to feel like, I presume, cold hard metal? But like, we don't want to get into that. That's the problem. It's like the T1000's fine as an adversary because no one's ever going to get close enough to him to find out. Because he either kills them or like everyone's running away from him. But like when he's the good guy, then you have to answer questions like that. It's like, let's don't do it.
All I can think about is what awful, awful jokes they had planned for the sequel when he can turn into things.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, true.
They would do something shit like they would have him turn into Robert Patrick for one scene or something like that.
Yeah, because member
berries. Yeah, this is all about the member berries.
Terminator member berries.
Fucking Terminator dangleberries.
And this is the bit, like, she's nearly as tall as him. And then this is the bit where they're going to fall in love. Look, oh no, they cut before they're in the frame together, like full length, so you can't see.
She just vanished as well. That was a really jarring cut because that was a shot reverse shot, and she was just gone.
Yeah.
Hands off, she's mine.
She's mine, you little slag.
I'll fucking kill you.
He was looking at me bird.
Why am I disappearing?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, fuck. Screwed.
I should have watched Back to the Future a bit more closely.
Yeah. It's hard to do when you're in the war.
You're a scrotum from a deleted timeline.
Come here, you vagina.
It's just like... This all feels so forced as well because now they've got to fall in love. And they have a kiss.
They're kind of
like,
obligated to fall in love, yeah, even though they've got no chemistry.
And you can do
dicks
something
to each
with
other.
that. You can do something with the idea of like, well, now would they want to? Because they see what John Connor becomes, and it's like, are they not conflicted about all that? Like, do you not think they shouldn't? Because it's sort of implied at the end of this, like, oh, it's your destiny to be together and create John Connor, but like, you've just said that's a bad thing with this film. Like,
Yes,
are we
yeah,
supposed
right.
to root for that? Like, what?
Are we supposed to time nexuses and shit? Are we supposed to believe in the deleted timeline crap?
Yeah, look at where they put the camera. They kind of cut her feet out because it's. I choose you.
Pikachu, I choose you.
Ugh, and like, because he's watching. Is he going to watch them have sex or something? Oh, don't do that joke that was deleted from the second film that I don't even like there, even though I know it has a contextual reason. But it's like, don't do it. I don't want to see the Terminator smiling like that.
I don't hate that as much as a lot of people do. And it is actually paid off later when he smiles. In Terminator 2, I mean.
When does he smile?
When he gets a minigun.
Oh, of course, right.
So
yeah.
it's kind of paid off. I mean, I see why it's not there, you know.
Yeah.
But the loss of the chip scene is one of the most...
The chip scene's the most egregious thing. And the T-1000 glitching, I think, is really important.
Well, when you watch the theatrical cut, like that, a lot of that stuff really jars because a lot of things just don't add up.
Yeah, it's like, well, how does he know which Sarah is which?
Well, and the moment as well when after the chip scene, when he starts to learn, his character begins changing from that point on.
Yeah.
Whereas in the theatrical cut, his character starts changing, like from when they ask him if he can learn stuff, as if he suddenly remembered he can learn.
Like,
it's like, oh yeah,
I guess whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, whatever. That's what I want. It's like in Terminator Dark Fate, it's kind of like, so did you travel through time from an alternate timeline to prevent all of this? And Terminator just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Get off my fucking case, man.
Well, it's right, like not a lot. Well, I suppose it's that. Again, there's so many more layers to it as well. Like the whole thing of like Sarah doesn't trust him. Like John is about to...
Someone called Larry Lundy Jr., which is weirdly close to Larry Bundy Jr.
Oh yeah.
Who I know watches us sometimes.
Hey,
anyway,
Larry Bundy. Yeah, that thing of like John, even as a kid, understands that like if you allow free will, essentially, as long as it's properly directed or given, as long as it's given, as long as it's educated in why humans are important, basically, it will always choose to do the right thing. Because essentially what they do is they hand the Uncle Bob the keys to become prescient and do what Skynet did. Because he could figure out while he's running around that, hang on, if I just kill this little prick, then it assures my survival in the future. You know, so it's like there's, you know, but it's that thing of like, no, how can I trust anyone to need to value human life if I don't trust this very thing that's here to, you know what I mean? So it's like there's layers there, and it's like it's interesting, and it's a thing to think about and question, and like, but any of that here?
yeah, but remember the song from the TV show Cops? Bad Boys, Bad Boys.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that is it, isn't it? It's like, yeah, but what about a funny joke where the Terminator can't smile?
But that's an important thing to say about
yes,
John
of
Connor.
course, because fucking Marvel.
The descended testicle. Because fucking Marvel. But that, you know what I mean? It's like that thing of like, because that's an important thing to say about John Connor and what kind of leader he'll be and all that kind of stuff, you know? And it's like, that's vital. And it, you know, and it comes with, because if my own mother won't listen to me, how can you expect anyone else to?
Yeah, exactly, right.
All that stuff. So it's like, again, all informing each character. Everyone's role reversing, aren't they? Because he's the son's becoming the father and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, and, you know, Sarah becomes the Terminator.
Yeah, of course,
you know.
yeah. She even gets her skin blown off in a nightmare scene and she's a skeleton under it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. But again, visual storytelling.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Fucking...
And one could argue that's almost on the nose as well, but it's like, that's okay. Because,
What is this song?
Oh, I don't know.
It's some sort of like trap fucking pop song. What is... Oh, it's my Genisys. My Terminator Genisys. Oh, Scroggins Aviation Mock-Ups. That is my favourite folk band.
Scroggins is just a fun word to say.
It really is. What is it? This is the tie-in song for Terminator Genisys. Like, what to the shit? Because this is a
Hang on, synth programming Hans Zimmer.
There you go, right down in the credits there. This wants to be a Marvel film, doesn't it? This is kind of like a knockabout action comedy aimed at kind of, let's say, 18 to 24-year-olds.
Yeah, it's
like,
very much trying
really...
to turn the Terminator into that.
Yeah, because they see that, everybody's doing it. I kind of thought when the Marvel thing kicked off and was a success, I thought everyone would start doing kind of shared universe stuff successfully, because it didn't seem to me, and this is armchair fucking idiot here, but it didn't seem to me like the hardest thing to do with a lot of stuff. Yeah. Yet so many have failed. There are so many failed. The fact that it's astonishing to me that Universal Monsters have failed to do that, because they invented it. They were doing it years ago.
It's the same thing with the DC thing though as well. Like the Warner Brothers having they
own everything. They could have just kept their dick in their pants.
It's necessity being the mother of invention. Necessity being the mother of invention. It speaks to this as well. Like the first Terminator is the best, arguably. Like at least from a story, from a filmmaking standpoint, because it wasn't like he just had everything at his disposal to do whatever the hell he wanted with yes men all around him. It was like constantly being told no and having to
shoot him without permits and shit like that.
Having to be creative and innovative and stuff like that.
It's got a rap break in it. This is a Terminator film.
I'm a Terminator, coming at you
later. But it's one of these shit modern trap raps. So it's like, I'm gonna terminate you.
There's a guy in rap stuff that just agrees with everything. Is he paid to do that?
Sorry?
He just goes, yeah. Or repeats things like, Mother Terminator. Just puts the emphasis on the final syllable, and that's it, and he gets paid for that, I guess.
Well, that's the difference between good rappers and shit rappers, isn't it? I've always thought, like, Kanye West is basically a cretin, but as a producer of music he's really good. As a rapper he's awful, and he's exactly the kind of person that says yeah all the time. You take someone like Abdominal or Charlie Tuna, which are like really technical rappers that understand kind of pacing and breath control and stuff like that, pull off amazing feats of essentially rhythmic poetry, and then you've got people just rapping about their balls and saying fucking but anyway, there's the out of context rap rant over.
Is this a bit of callback music to... No, it isn't. It's
just the shit Terminator Genisys theme.
Oh god.
Generic orchestral score.
And it's done as well very optimistic. Like note all the sort of new themes in this are very optimistic and upbeat, and it's like, what?
Mate, the first Terminator soundtrack is so dark and it's kind of hopeless. It's got the nice kind of fanfare sections and stuff, but it just is evocative of this hopeless situation.
Well, it's got the most jarring changes when we first meet Sarah Connor. It goes blang, ding, lang, ding, and it's like, whoa.
But that does not last long.
No, exactly, and it's good. Like all that stuff's really good, but
I don't know. I've just realised I don't know who's doing the music for the new one, because I think Brad Fiddel's basically retired.
Dick Fate.
Dick Fate. Fart date.
Dick Fate. I'll have a look. I'll look it up because we still can't remember anyone from Kate. I was going to remember Lois Lane then for a minute.
Oh, it's Kate. Something.
I think of as Hudson now. Kate.
Yeah. No. We're the worst.
Right, hang on.
The Terminator theme from the motion picture Terminator, written by Brad Fiddell.
Kate Bosworth. There you go.
Bad Boys. Kate Bosworth brackets theme from Cops.
What? It doesn't make any sense.
See, this made a bunch of money in China, didn't it?
Okay, Mackenzie Davis for a start.
Mackenzie Davis.
Second of all, let's see, composer Junkie XL, your good friend.
I like Junkie. Man, I like Junkie XL's music. I think Junkie XL's scores are really good.
What did they do? Batman v Superman or something? No, what was that?
Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman.
And Mad Max, they did?
Yeah, Mad Max. Loads of stuff, Junkie XL. And obviously that remix of the Elvis Little Less Conversation for that was in...
Everything.
Yeah, but it was in Ocean's 11.
Yeah. And everything.
And everything. Skydance. There you go.
Skydance. It's a whole lot of dance. Prizes.
Dance for every prance. Answer in your pants.
I don't know. Hi, everybody. Okay,
everybody.
Well, that was... Now we're just looking at, I guess, dubbing stuff. So that was Terminator Genisys, really bad, unfortunately. But not to be clear, like I don't think like any one person did it. It's almost like the Skynet of movies, in that like all the right intentions were there.
Some kind of hive mind.
Yeah, it's like this again. It's sort of the sum of its parts not being what anyone intended. Almost, it's like it's weird, isn't it? But No,
Yeah, it sucks shit, so there you go.
I love the way that we've done commentaries to all the shit ones. We haven't done the first two, because I guess it feels reductive at this point. Or redundant.
I have done Terminator 1 and 2 twice each, but they might be deleted from the internet soon, so please don't forget that there's a strong chance those won't exist for much longer. I really don't know how and why those commentaries have been deleted. Well, the reasoning behind
you know how they're
I know how they're being deleted.
Yeah.
I don't know quite what the thought process is, so, you know, probably download those if you like them, because they might not be around forever. That was a bleak note to end on, wasn't it?
Oh well, never mind. All right, well, thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you on the next go-round of Anne Film, what will be revealed to you in that commentary. But until then, goodbye.
Tatty bye.
Support your 7th or 8th favourite YouTube channel by buying crap, tat, junk, hogwash and filth at redbubble.com/people/Val Verde Shop.